Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets, welcome back to the 2021 Wild Rift Asia Brawl, brought to you by Trovo.live. You're now watching the group stage, Week 3, Day 1. Today we got lots of exciting matches, again, to some of the most popular teams Wild Rift Asia Brawl have ever seen, including One Snap, Omega, Bigatron Phili, and Soul of Soy. So the first matches will be One Snap taking out Omega Esports. Today we'll also decide the two winners who will get out of group stage and join the playoff. The two first teams. So very, very exciting day, guys. The playoff will be definitely a show to watch. It'll be all around Ben picks. I can't wait for next week. But this week, though, the game-changing week decides who wins and who get eliminated. Without further ado, I do want to introduce my wonderful caster, D2. How you doing, D2?
How's it going, Dave? This is determination weekend. This is the final weekend for teams as they get ready for the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Do you mind walking through like the current standing with our viewers? Tell them like what's going on, like how important this is, or the win and lose relationships between teams.
I would love to do that for you. So obviously we have Omega going against One Snap. One Snap is in first with 2 wins and 0 losses. Bigatron is 1-1. Omega is 1-1, and Soul of Soy is 0-2. Yep. So Omega, the thing is though, the match records are One Snap defeated Bigatron 2-1, and I think Bigatron beat Omega Esports 2-1. So these Omega can potentially beat One Snap. It's not like One Snap's been dominating. Soul of Soy unfortunately has been playing pretty poorly. So they might be able to play spoiler today, but we'll have to go ahead and see.
Yep. Now, the first game ban picks are already started. In fact, teams are getting ready into the game. So we're going to go ahead and jump into the first game ban pick right away to talk about the current, the first matches. Remember, the first match is probably the most game-changing match in Group A, in the first group. The winner of this group will change the entire fate of the group, to be honest.
Yep. So in order to explain kind of what's going on, so if One Snap wins, they're in and everything's good, and then the playoffs are pretty set. However, if Omega wins, then we could have a big, huge tie on our hands, and it could get very messy. So we'll have to see what happens here.
Yeah, three-way tie. It will be really, really interesting to see once that actually become reality. So is One Snap gonna set the fate for this group, or are we actually getting a really, really interesting tie here? We shall find out. Also, Omega Esports, if they win against One Snap, the way how they win also kind of changes the landscape of this group as well. Like if they're gonna win as a 2-1 fashion, or if they're gonna win in a 2-0 fashion, that also changes the game.
All right, well, now that we've gotten the playoff scenarios out of the way, let's talk about this match for a second. We're taking a look at time-lapse. I'm going to call them time-lapse, even though TJ likes to call them time-lapse. I think it is actually supposed to be time-lapse, but he's been extremely good on this Jhin. It's kind of like a pet champion for him. We'll see if he's able to kind of keep up that dominance. He's going to be with this Lulu here, and it's going to be a pretty hard combo to stop up in this top lane as they're going off against a Kai'Sa. And... yeah. Actually, we haven't seen this champion in a while. Let's talk about talk about Sona here for our viewers, because they don't really see Sona in professional matches much.
No, I don't see Sona that much either. The interesting thing is though, one of the top, actually the first challenger in the Asia server in season 1, was a support main, and his most played hero was actually Sona, but. That was a few days ago, and now there are more than 25 different challengers now in the Asia server, and then the support main is actually now on the Grandmaster. He's no longer a challenger. I think he dropped rank. But it's interesting how this year was not really that meta. Somehow the first challenger in season 1 in Asia server was a Sona main.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see Snap Esports snap him up, because they are the #1 team in the group, and they've had some kind of unusual picks in the past. We'll see if this one works out quite well for them. Sona is a much easier champion to kind of pilot. She just has a bunch of auras that she uses to kind of enhance both her and her teammates around her.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of easy healing, a lot of easy like I think it's attack speed, I believe, and just in general buffs around her. The only problem I had with her when I try to pilot her a couple times is she can run out of mana pretty quickly. So you gotta watch out for that.
And also another like untraditional picks from one snap side is Ziggs. We don't see Ziggs that often, but now this game you're gonna go ahead and see Ziggs. Ziggs is one of the most annoying poke champions you can go against.
Yeah, and we're actually seeing Corki in the mid lane as well. Corki is typically played in mid, as from what I hear in League of Legends PC.
Yeah.
But we've only really seen him in the dual lane before. So looks like he's the teams in this, in particular, One Snap are going, or sorry, excuse me, Omega are going for his more traditional role there in the mid, or at least traditional according to League of Legends PC.
PC. On Wild Rift though, like after many testing, personally, I do think Corki is better suited as side lane. I feel like mid lane, he doesn't offer any quad controls. And then if you get Corki mid, you might have too much AD damage on your team. Now, obviously, for Omega, they're doing something interesting. You know, they don't have a traditional comp. They have a lot of poke. So you have Jing as poke, Lulu as poke, Corki as poke. And then on top, on the Baron lane, you have a Singed. So they're not really going for the team fights. They're just going for the poke.
Yeah. For sure. So Singe is really good at just split pushing here, and he's just gonna try to force people over to his lane. And meanwhile, the rest of the team can just delay objectives the entire time by just poking and making it very annoying for the other team to take. But that said, I'm looking over at the Omega side, and they're kind of taking a position here around this dragon here.
Yeah,
we'll see how
One Snap is getting ready. Also, the blue buff is up. But if we switch to the just like you said, One Snap Omega's perspective, they're already starting it. They're already starting this dragon.
Yeah, the ult already comes out here from Zig, so that's a big ult expenditure. How are they going to go with this fight? Big ult here comes out from Sona, nice stun, and now the combo is onto these players, except for the fact that Timelapse is actually doing pretty well. Looks like our Corki has to go ahead and run away. The ult here is popped from Timelapse, unable to get good shots off. It's going to be a 2-for-2 thus far. We see Singe is extremely low. Is he going to be able to get out there? He's going to go ahead and back right in the bushes. And at the end of the day, it's just a very even 2-for-2 trade. Okay, time-lapse, careful.
Like I said, he's one of the most annoying poke heroes. And his damage is surprisingly good sometimes. You can't underestimate Ziggs damage. Like sometimes it seems like it's just like, what do you call it, tickling you. But some other times, it might just kill you in one shot. Like, you really got to be careful with Ziggs ultimate there. And also, go ahead.
I would say that he just has he's all damage. That's all his kit is really. He has a second ability that can kind of push you away and kind of catapult himself, but it's kind of unwieldy. It's difficult to use. You can't just use it on command very well. It just seems like all of his stuff is damage. So yeah, I would agree with you. Stay away from his damage because it really hurts.
And also for Omega, they do get a dragon over here. A little bit more skirmish.
Yeah. Well, Lee Sin's going to go ahead and get out of there, and Omega doesn't want to push into there thus far. Who did you say got the Drake?
Y from Omega.
Oh, okay. Vi picked up the Drake. Yeah. Great. All right. I think they're all smart. I think the
sponsors are smart.
The sponsors smart. Yeah.
More action topside.
Yeah, we have a gank coming up here. Nice engage from the Vi trying to get in there. The Sona already goes down, and now they're turning their efforts over to the Kaisa, and she does too fall. Very nice play here from Omega, taking it to the #1 team in our group thus far.
Oh my goodness. Omega is determined to get off the group stage. I mean, to stir up the pot a little bit. The interesting thing is, Omega actually lost to Bigatron on day 1. So, and then obviously One Snap, they also destroyed the Bigatron. So this is like a weird love triangle kind of thing.
Well, they didn't destroy them. It was a 2-1, right? So
2-1.
It's been that I'm not too surprised by this that Omega's doing well so far. Obviously, One Snap is not out of the game quite yet. It hasn't reached snowball territory at the moment. But yeah, One Snap beat Bigatron 2-1, and Bigatron beat Omega 2-1. So it's not that crazy for these teams to be similar in strength here.
Okay, look at the next objective. Lee Sin might get contested right here.
Yeah, Lee Sin getting some aggro put onto him. He's gonna have to retreat back to his jungle. I believe, it looks like the Rift Scaler was stolen away from them. Obviously, one snap, both teams actually want to secure that vision so they have that around the Drake, especially since it's going to be upcoming pretty soon here. So yeah, one snap is on the back foot, but we've seen them come back in the past. We'll see how they manage to deal with this. You take a look at the minimap on your screen. Looks like Olaf is actually having kind of a tough time dealing with Singe, which is a bit surprising in my opinion.
Same. Like, I was surprised. I think it's just because Singe runs so fast. And then he also does pure damage. So if Olaf just activates all and runs in, Singe is going to activate his all and run away. And the more you chase, the more damage you take.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, a little bit push action.
Yeah. Looks like as we switch the point of view here over to Omega, they take the tower and they're like, all right, see you later, guys. Nothing else to do here. They're gonna get ready. Gonna pick up some items to get ready for that dragon. As you can see on that mini map is up in 10 seconds at the moment. We'll see who picks up the next streak.
Another interesting thing about the both side comp is if you look at One Snap, they don't really have that strong of a team composition on team fights either. They mainly rely on Lee Sin to engage. Sona is not really engaged and more of a disengage with ultimate dragon.
Ooh, okay, so it looks like you saw that One Snap was on the dragon for quite a while there, and obviously Omega saw that as well because we're looking up from Omega's perspective. They wasn't able to use the curtain call to get the steal there. Good smite usage there from the Lee Sin. So looks like we have a 1-1 as far as our dragons are concerned here. So pretty even in that regard, but the turrets are going over to the side of Omega in a major way. They've taken all 3 tier 1 turrets down.
Yeah, absolutely. This is gonna give them a lot of control over the map. They can extend the enemy jungle a lot more. So I think in the near future we're gonna see a lot more invade coming from Omega as well. When I was playing or training from a master before, the master once told me, like how you actually treat the towers, you just connect all the dots, like we draw all lines in between all the dots, dots being the tower obviously. So if you draw all the towers, draw the lines, that the entire net is the coverage of the control you have over the map. And then once you take over the enemy towers, you can see now if you look at the One Snap side, if you draw all the towers, connect all the towers together, the little control they have doesn't cover the jungle anymore. So enemy can easily invade.
Yeah, exactly. We're taking a look at Blanche here from Lee Sin. And if you look at where he is, at any moment, Omega could come and try to fight them, right? Because if One Snap try to run away, they can only run away backwards. They can't run away sideways. Yeah. And that makes it so it's a completely even playing field, even though we would nominally be on the side of One Snap here.
True. More engaged. Look at Omega, though. Looking for some action. This might get very spicy real quick.
Yeah, they're getting right up in their face as we take a look at the point of view of time-lapse here on that Jhin, trying to get as deep in there as possible, get those bush tactics going, try to find a pick. There aren't really objectives to be taken right now. Obviously, Omega doesn't feel like they can take the Baron when they have such a slim gold lead. It could just throw the game if they go for that, and obviously there's no Drake available quite yet. So they're looking to just pick up a nice pick up a pick and go from there to the dragon. And as you can see, One Snap is playing this very defensively, and so both teams are doing basically what they should be doing, right? The Omega's looking for a pick, and One Snap is doing a good job of defending.
One Snap is definitely counting on the big Kai'Sa, scaling to the late game. Once Kai'Sa get those farms, get those core items, Kai'Sa doesn't lose to anyone on the side of Omega. Kai'Sa can just come in, especially if you have a good position. He can clean up their entire team pretty quick because everyone from Omega Smart is really, really squishy. It doesn't really take Kai'Sa a lot of shots to kill one person. I think right now he had the skill 1 enhanced a long time ago, so that one skill 1 probably can take away like 60% of anyone from Omega's help.
Yeah, and I want to go back to the point you made earlier, the fact that there's a lot of poke champions on the side of Omega and not a great team fighting comp, which means that they're going to try to just macro this game out, right? Yeah. If you're watching Omega and thinking like, why aren't they just taking the fight to them? Why aren't they just kind of diving the turrets and trying to kill them? It's like, that's not how their team comp works. They just want to play the macro game, kill turrets slowly but surely, kind of use their poking ability to keep the other team off of objectives, and eventually they just lean on them, right? Enough towers die that they just win the game through TKL, right? Just eventually they win the game. And so that's why it's so hard for Omega to push in, and why it's smart here for One Snap to just keep playing defense.
Yeah. Now, this defense can only last for so long. So at a certain point, you gotta have to find a window to turn it around. Like that also pretty much depends on like the power spike of Kai'Sa. Whenever Kai'Sa says, "I'm ready to go," like I think I can kill their entire team now. That's when you need to take a team fight. Because really, if you keep on letting enemy take everything, once you get to Elder Dragon, you might get to the point where you just can't return the game anymore. You can't turn the game around anymore.
Yeah, although in my opinion, I think that Elder Dragon is not for even a little while here. Yeah, you see, they just gave up the Ocean Dragon straight up. They're like, we don't want to fight. We know we're behind. It's hard for us to approach the Drake because of the vision you guys have. So I think this is a good decision here from OneSnap. And yeah, like you said, they're just gonna wait for Kai'Sa to get her items up and running. She only has 2 completed items at the moment, as you saw there, and she probably wants 3 items plus maybe completed boots, and then she can get off and running.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kai'Sa still need quite a bit of time to scale. A little bit more skirmish.
Okay, Corky, he's using that package. If you guys don't know, Corky's one of the newer champions, obviously. Well, it came out, I guess, like a few weeks ago. But you get the package at the base, and it only lasts for so long. Corky's like, I'm going to make the most of this package, and just kind of YOLO'd in there, but YOLO'd right back out.
Yep. Now we're looking at Omega's perspective, and then you can see that they're already starting Baron. If once just give this away.
Is stolen by the Lee Sin at the very last moment. Huge plays coming out from the Lee Sin on the other side. He does pay for it with his life, but I would say completely worth it. Now the members of OneSnap are going to have that Baron buff on their side, and they can actually start counter pushing here once Lee Sin comes back, or even maybe just go 4v5 and start pushing out the lanes.
Oh my goodness! What a steal! That surely turns stuff around.
Yeah, and like you said, talk about the fact that Omega doesn't really have a team fight comp, so it was really hard to push Lee Sin out of there. All they can do is kind of poke.
Yeah, and right now you can see that OneSnap is taking advantage of that steal, like taking full advantage of the sacrifice from their teammate, and trying to push on the tower here. Look at Corky's damage. I mean, I really don't think this hero is do that much damage. I think it's more of a tickling.
Oh, sorry. That was kind of funny. So if you guys don't know, Zig's second ability actually does damage to turrets. So he just threw that down and just completely destroyed the turret. I think it does extra damage if the turret's below like a certain percentage, like 25%. Yeah, 25%. So that's why you saw it just completely melt there. I was wondering what that was for a second.
If the tower is below 25% health, it doesn't matter how much. It kills it instantly.
Yeah.
So like, they have a push comp. They have Ziggs because that's basically tell you they have push comp because of Ziggs, and then on top of it they have the Baron buff. So there's no better time than now to push those towers.
Yeah, and you see how important the Baron buff is. If you guys are underestimating the Baron buff and not pushing the lanes when you do get the Baron buff, you see how much that can change here. We saw OneSnap was behind the entire game, right? They were down 2-4. They were down 3 turrets, and they were kind of playing defensive the entire time. The instant they get the Baron, even despite the fact they lost the fight technically 0-1, they still were able to push down 2 turrets after the fact and almost got a 3rd turret. So that is the power of the Baron buff for you.
Yeah. And once you have the Baron buff, just a side note, make sure you're using it to push towers, because Baron buff, the strength of it is actually the buff it provides to the minions, not really to you. Because you probably play the game, if you played enough, even sometimes when you have the Baron buff, you will still lose team fights to the enemy if they're strong enough. Or even if they're even, you will still lose team fights. Because Baron buff doesn't give, even though it does give a little bit AD and AP scaling, it doesn't give that much. It's not like Elder Dragon just give you straight out true damage, So we always say that Elder Dragon is a dragon for team fights. Baron buff is always for push. If you get a Baron, don't try to contest Dragon because you think you have Baron buff. It doesn't give you, because you try to contest Dragon, it's basically ask for team fights. But just use Baron buff to push towers. That's how you take advantage of it.
Yeah, there is like the weird offside where, hold that thought. We might have an actual fight here going on. The Olaf is actually pushing in. We have the engage from our Lee Sin as well, but they're going to go ahead and back off in the end. Sona providing that healing as they do retreat. But oh my goodness, extremely low. Here is the ult here popped off from Jin. Enough protection here from the Sona to kind of get him away. On the other hand, we have the Sin going extremely low here for Omega, and that causes both teams to kind of retreat. But surprising that that both teams actually took the fight, and even more surprising, the Mega actually won. They're going to go ahead and go for this dragon right here. Looks like they're going to get it pretty safely. It takes down the Elder Cloud Dragon, which gives them, I believe, a massive shield here. So they're going to go ahead and try to use this advantage to their favor, looking towards the Baron that is up and available. Another turret falls down here for Omega, but they should be pretty happy about the Elder Dragon.
Yeah, they're going to be moving really, really fast with a Elder Cloud Dragon. But on top, most important thing on top of that, the movement speed. I think the movement speed is not that important compared to how much true damage it gives you right now. Because they have 3 dragons. I think they have 3 or 4, right? 3?
Okay, yeah, I got mixed up. Sorry, I heard you correcting me. I got mixed up with the shield. That was the other dragon. Anyways, actually, yeah, just a straight up kill here on Olaf. That is just, oof, you hate to see it if you are one snap getting Olaf just straight up bodied there by the combination of the Corki and the Jhin here. There's vision here from one snap, so it's going to be difficult for them, or for Omega to take this. The package comes in here for Corki as they go in again on the Kaisa, and that is absolutely devastating again if you are one snap. That is their carry that is down, and looks like eyes are pointing to the Baron now.
Oh my goodness. The tickling heroes, Corki, is no longer tickling at this point. Thanks to the Elder Dragon, because every time you do damage, it inflicts true damage per second onto your opponent, and then that's how like Corki just straight up deleted that Olaf. Like Olaf didn't even have a fighting chance. I think he was sitting still because he gave up, or maybe he just like had a little bit lag. I don't know, but he got deleted, and you saw how much damage that Jhin did to the Kaisa over there.
Yeah, it seems like they're using the Jhin as this massive threat that one snap has to get to, right? But not only is it very difficult to kill the Jhin because he has Guardian Angel, but also as they get closer, the Corki just unleashes, right? He has the ability to kind of burn people down at close range in that scenario, and so he's kind of like the buffer between them and Jhin. Like, don't go for the Jhin, Corki's gonna just destroy you, and if you don't go for the Jhin, he's gonna kill you from long range here. So it looks like that's the kind of strategy here for Omega.
Look at Vi's hiding position, hiding next to tier 2 tower.
Oh.
They're trying to bait enemy ins here.
Yeah, they don't know that she's in there. Is she going to go in? Goes for the engage, the knockup, and that is an insta-kill onto the Sona. They have the Kaisa extremely low as well. The GA does get popped. Looks like the counter-engage comes here from one side, but I don't know if they can take this fight. The ult gets popped here, and Singe is in the backline, flashing in, going 1v3 under turret. Can he get the kill? He gets another one. The Lee Sin goes down, and that is a complete ace, 5-4-0, and that is game number 1 going over to Omega Esports.
It's a quadra kill for the Singed. What did I just witness? Is that... That's a quadra kill for the Singed.
Yeah, that was not something that we expected going into that match, was a quadra kill for that Singed Zero. What a strong game here from Omega. Pretty much dominant from start to finish. The only hiccup there was the steal of the Baron. Honestly, Dave, that was just a comprehensive victory here from Omega. Honestly, again, the only thing that they did wrong was they gave up the Baron, and then they defended the Baron, and they were good.
I mean, I don't know what to say. Just take a look at the replays here. Like, you have a Singed, just like Didier was saying, was in the back chasing everybody, putting everybody behind, and then everyone trying to get away from Jinx ultimate. So they're running into a Singed.
It's funny because normally you can't dive too deep into their turrets, right? Because that's their natural defense. But Singe was so deep that one step couldn't run away because there was a Singe in the way, and they couldn't run diagonal because then they couldn't run diagonally down and to the right because they would just get ganked upon by the other members. So there was no escape. Singe was like, I'm coming for you. He had this little like alcove, between. He had the turret on the left, turret on the bottom, and the Nexus on the right. But he's like, I got my safe space here, and I'm going to kill you if you come near.
Let's really take a look at a post-play analysis. I mean, I just want to point out the last team fight here. First of all, I think it's a really smart position for Y to hide. Look at Vi. Like, he activated a sweeper, and then he circled around from the Fog of War into the bush on the very top, like where nobody can see him. Like he's basically in a flanking position at this point, and nobody expected Vi show up from their tower side.
Oh, one quick thing. So what he did, he went around the minions from the right side, right? So normally when you come up, go back a little bit. Yeah, right.
Right here.
Stop. So you see the minions in the minimap, right? normally when you approach a minion wave, you come up, along the lane, right?
Yeah.
So Vi comes between the minions and goes to the bush. So if you're, I know it's so basic, right? People, when you have the information, people watching, the viewers at home are probably thinking like, so what? That doesn't seem like a crazy high IQ move. But you would be surprised, even at a super high level, people just don't think you're there because they see the minion wave is already pushed out. They don't think you're there.
They don't think you're behind their minion wave. They think you're
exactly.
behind your minion wave. They usually these two are expecting Vi to show up from where Jing is, basically. But that's why they're actually moving towards Vi. They thought there's nobody there. But look at this damage here. This is Outer Dragon for you. it just disappeared.
Yeah, just absolutely demolished here. And I think you saw Singe actually use his flash there as well. And
Singe from behind. Look at Singe. He's also in a flanking position. He's behind. He's where the attack button is, which is really hard to see. But then, look, Singe is chasing everybody. If you're gonna run into my poison. That's basically what's happening. And you have Singe leading their runaway path.
Is he wild growth as well?
No. Wait. No.
He looks pretty big. He looks pretty big. I don't know. It's a big boy right there.
Let's take. Oh no, Vi is. You see,
Vi. Okay.
Yeah.
That's why she. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, he looks big on the minimap. So look at if you're gonna run into Singed. Literally. Oh, that is disgusting.
Yeah. Okay. Well played by Omega. It was honestly a pretty dominant game from them. It was kind of slow, but that's how they like to play it. Now that we've had that though, things might get crazy. Okay, so here's how it stands. Omega just beat One Snap, right?
Yeah.
And Omega's 1-1. One Snap is 2-0. Big H1 is 1-1, and they're probably going to beat Solo Soy later. If Omega wins 2-0, we're in the clear. Okay. Omega goes through. One Snap is probably not going to go through, and then Big H1 goes through, right? 2-0, everything's nice and clean. Right? If One Snap comes back, wins the next one, and then Omega wins the third game, then it's just complete craziness. There's a three-way tie. We have no idea what's going on, and it's going to be very difficult to sort out.
It's going to be a very, very interesting and complicated group stage. Don't worry, we have tiebreaker figured out. So before we continue to the short break right here, I do want to do a big shout out to the sponsors of today's tournament, Wild Rift Asia Brawl, the tournament you're watching right now. Big shout out to Trovo.live. Trovo is hosting a variety of tournaments, events for League of Legends Wild Rift, including this very tournament you're watching, with a bunch of prizes for you to claim, including 30,000 Wild Core giveaway throughout this tournament. Without their support, this tournament simply would not be possible. So if you're watching the stream right now, make sure to use the link and head to Trovo.live right away. Okay, join the chat where have your chat show up on screen. You can see the chat rolling on the screen right now. That's Trovo chat. Head to Trovo and get yourself noticed. Big shout out to Wild Rift Competitive Team for helping organizing this tournament. Wild Rift Competitive is central place for all things competitive. They host weekly tournament events for the community. If you're looking for scrims, teams, games, whatever you're looking for, competitive related for Wild Rift, make sure to head to Wild Rift Competitive with their social link in description. Last but not the least, make sure to follow our beautiful casters of the day with D2's social link or Twitter link in the chat right now. Make sure to go ahead and follow D2 with the link in the chat. And all the previous games, previous 2 weeks matches have been stored in the AssassinDave YouTube channel under the Wild Rift Asia Brawl playlist. So if you're looking to refer to any of the previous games from Omega Esports or One Snap, this is your chance to find the playlist. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a short 1 minute break, 1 to 2 minute break, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the 2021 Wild Rift Asia Brawl, the biggest community tournament for Wild Rift since forever. Yeah, that's right, we do it in style, the biggest, greatest, the baddest. If you haven't liked, subscribe, and turn the bell on to all notification bells, this is your chance. Make sure to go ahead and do that so you do not miss a single match for the Wild Rift Asia Brawl, the most competitive tournament you have watched so far for Wild Rift. Now, we are just getting into a spicy territory where Omega taking on got the first win. If they get the second win, they will secure their seat out of the group stage into the playoffs. But if they turn into a 2-1 situation, this might get really, really, really complicated. Now, without further ado, the second game, Ben Pig, is already underway. Let me quickly send it to our handsome, beautiful, talented caster, D2, to explain this very intricate situation.
Well, I think you explained it well enough. Essentially, if we have a 2-0 here from Omega, then one snap is almost certainly eliminated. They'd have to hope for a sole win in the next match, which is not seemingly likely, according to what we've seen so far. So yeah, one snap's life is pretty much on the line right now. Not a good place to be. But if they do force a third game and Omega wins there, then we have a crazy 3-way tie. So basically, one snap, this one game is very important. Even if they lose the series, if they win this game, they have a good chance of making the playoffs. So one snap really, really want to win this one.
Yeah, this is do or die for one snap. Are you gonna be competing for the $2,000 prize pool for this tournament? Or are you going to hand it over and then fight for another chance 2 weeks from now, right? Because remember, this entire tournament is 6 stages. We're now on the stage 1, $2,000, and then from stage 2 to stage 6 is going to be $1,000 each every week. It's going to be very exciting. But a $2,000 prize pool, do they have the chance to compete for that? They have to win this match. If they really want to get out, they want to win this entire series, right? But if they want to have at least a chance of making it out of the group stage, they need to win this match. But let's take a look about the ban picks right now. The second game, we do not see a Jing ban. We talk about Jing being one of the most highest win rate hero for the Omega Smart. Why do you think they didn't ban it, D2?
Yeah, I'm not totally sure. It seemed like time-lapse here over on our Omega side is extremely strong. However, we saw one stab actually picked up Jin. So that's an interesting pickup there. He doesn't actually fit well with their team. Correct me if you disagree. But it seems like one snap's team comp is very much dive-oriented, and we just have like the Jin sitting in their back. We're on one snap's POV at the moment right now, as you can see. Obviously, the Zed and the Akali, as well as the Wukong, are just really want to get in there, and Janna supports that as well. But then we have the Jin just kind of doing damage in the back. He doesn't really do damage like in super quickly either, right? He kind of just like pokes at you. So what do you think about? Do you think they just wanted to take the Jin away, or? Yeah,
I think that's just a respect, pick. Like they took it away. Now I'm pretty sure their marksman player is also pretty proficient on Jin, because this hero being the meta marksman for so long. Even now, it's still a decent pick. So I'm pretty sure like they're taking it as a respect. Also, like we talk about how strong the Omega Smart marksman player is on this hero. Time lapse.
I think it's time lapse.
Yeah. So, but now he's on Misfortune. Personally, I do believe Misfortune is more of a even more meta hero at this point. And then back to your point, one snap's composition. They do have some synergy issues, right? It doesn't seem like it's synergized that well. If you look at their opposition, Omega, though, it's similar. It's more
very weird. These are very weird comps. We have a Garen and a Fiora on the same side. What is happening here?
I don't know. Maybe they think Fiora is a really good pick going against Zed. Maybe that's why.
Is she though?
I do not think so. Personally, I find it like you can, because Fiora early game you can dodge double EQ combo from Zed, so you don't take a lot of poke.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
And then once Zed get the ultimate, you can also parry. And also, for those who don't know, parry not only works against quad controls, parry also just make you completely immune to damage for a second.
Yeah.
So you can parry the second part of Zed's burst damage if that's what you wanted. So overall, Fiora does do really well against that.
Yeah, the thing is, I just have a hard time thinking that Fiora is going to kill the Zed anytime soon. So, whereas Zed can kind of poke at the Fiora for a while. I mean, Fiora just kind of has her one little dash thing.
Yeah.
As far as her damage is concerned, that's great against melee champions, but I don't know how it's going to work against that. You'd actually see on your screen there that Fiora is at half health, so not doing the greatest.
Yeah. Oh, seems like a little bit of action here on top side.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to try to get onto Timeless, gets a little bit of damage. The Fiora actually getting even lower in that mid lane. You can see the health bars on the top of your screen there. So just not doing too well. Not doing too hot there.
I mean, you can only parry so often. Oh, more skirmish. Oh. And then the thing is, if you look at One Snap, team composition, they mainly rely on Monkey's engage. If Monkey is done with engage, they're done. Right? They don't have any other engages. That they have like 2 assassins, which is something I truly I'm not a big fan of, because you're lacking so much quad control. The only person that has some kind of quad control is the Monkey and is a Janna, and Janna's quad control is more defensive. It's not really like, let me engage with that tornado, you know?
Yeah. Okay, I was just looking at the action here for a second. So Timelapse used his ult. Bullet time, I believe it's called, and it's on a 50-second cooldown. I guess she was just trying to time it for the potential fight at the dragon. It's going to be up slightly later than the dragon is up, but it was interesting. She just used it on the wave and was just like, okay, we're going to go back. Use it on the wave, going to go back very quickly, have no issues getting back, but now her ult's not up, so...
It's actually a standard practice from a lot of Misfortune players. They do it just because you notice how when he did it is another wave just showed up under enemy tower. He shoved it, and then now you're stuck under tower. You have to clean that, and they can recall and start start buying items. So they get a priority on that, and now they come back full HP with the item. They're ready for the next fight. So they just do that for, like you said, just for the wave shoving purposes. They didn't. I don't think he calculated the timer for the dragon. But it does seem like One Snap want to take advantage of the the cooldown there.
Yeah, if they're really paying attention, they know there's a 15-second difference there. We're taking a look at One Snap's POV. The Wukong getting a little bit low, has to pop his clone there. It's actually a pretty long cooldown. Jumps back onto the dragon and is able to smite it down. The dragon goes over to one side, but this team fight is continuing here. This Jin is going to jump onto the backline, but not going to get much done. It looks like Fiora is extremely low, but she gets out of dodge. However, the Misfortune and the Braum have died, so it's going to be still a 2-for-1 in favor of One Snap. Not a bad situation for them at all.
Not at all. On top of it, they also got the Drake. It's a mountain dragon. Early dragon is not that game changing. However, it is really good once we start, scaling to the late game. So that's really good win for them. And then I thought they are gonna lose the dragon because once the dragon pit is on your side, I think we discussed this before. It's actually disadvantageous for that side, for the blue side. Because you have a big cliff, so for you to fight the dragon, you gotta circle around the cliff. Where an enemy, they're facing the dragon pit, right? They can just dive onto you. So I thought they were losing it, but nice, like ultimate over there plus smite combo to secure that dragon.
Yeah, I think what we saw from Blench there is he kind of walked away for a moment. He saw that he was getting low, but didn't want to get too low. Yeah, so you see here, he gets out, jumps right back in. The Misfortune ult actually misses, or so for the most part, it misses. So that allows them to actually pick up this team fight and actually get the damage out of them.
Yeah. Overall, really, really good play from One Snap. Definitely gave them a huge confidence boost, and they need this boost. Remember, we talked about if they want to make it out of group stage, they have to win this match minimum to have a chance.
Yeah.
And if they win this series,
I'm actually curious. What were you laughing about? What I was like talking about the fight.
I mean,
sorry.
I forgot.
I'm just curious. Okay, they're right.
I have a goldfish memory. So you're asking me like stuff that happens 10 seconds ago?
I thought that might be the case. That's why I wanted to ask quickly. Anyway, we have the engage coming out here from our Fiora and the Wukong.
Wukong?
But sorry, not the Fiora, the Kali. My mistake. I was getting excited because I might maybe see some good Fiora play, but it was actually the Akali, someone who's actually a normal pick in these sort of circumstances. The Rift Herald actually gets aggressive upon it. Actually going to go for this. I didn't really see who was actually low on the other side. It looks like it's going to be a bit of an engage here from the side of Omega, trying to get onto this Rift Herald and trying to pick up this team fight. There goes the Jin. Tries to burst them down, and indeed they do. Down goes the Lee Sin, but in exchange, the Wukong falls as well, as Timelapse is able to take that down. So 1-for-1 trade here. They're kind of going to continue to push in. We still have, obviously, the perspective on the Misfortune here. No minion wave, though. So they're going to be taking some damage. Going to really force this, though. They really want this turret. Looks like they're going to get it.
And also, that's the first tower. That's a lot of gold. Just another thing, One Snap actually got the Rift Herald. But when you get a Rift Herald, usually it's for securing the first tower. And obviously, really good job from Omega Smart, taking advantage of the opponents being low or taken down, taking advantage of the number advantage and pushing down the first tower. That kind of nullify the huge advantage you might have by trying so hard to get that Rift Herald.
I don't know about you. I just from the get-go, it seemed like a really poor decision there from One Snap. Like, why were they going for the Rift Herald, an objective that's not that important? They know their opponents on the other side. And they also knew that their Akali was extremely low, and the opponent wasn't low either. So, do you have any explanation for like why they kind of forced that?
I don't know. I think they're forcing themselves into a corner here. It's like drafting. If you draft all the meta heroes, sometimes you might draft yourself into a corner where they don't really synergize. Just because you have a good hero doesn't mean you have a good comp. Like same thing here. Like just because that's objective doesn't mean you have to take it. And speaking of that, seemed like Fiora got another kill. Onto the One Snap's Omega, One Snap's Zed.
Yeah, it seems like perhaps we're just having the Fiora go into the side lane now, and perhaps we're just going to have the Garen joining the rest of the team. Omega's going to go ahead and start on this dragon, but obviously they're standing right in the middle of Riskler, so they're going to be in vision. Gets extremely low, down to 1500. There comes the ult out, and it goes to Lee Sin and Omega Esports, and they take down Wukong, and this is a great comeback here from Omega.
Wow. I mean, this is more in line with Omega's playstyle. Losing the first dragon there, I think it was an accident. Obviously, really good execution from the Wukong. Just now, they're taking their beautiful bullet time, laying over the dragon. You can take a look at a replay right here. Laying over the dragon and the Wukong at the same time. So I think that's how they secure the dragon over there. We're taking a look at how exactly the dragon fight went down. And also, Wukong tried to steal it, but his entrance is very, very interesting. He had to jump over. If he couldn't jump over, he couldn't get it.
Yeah, and this for you Misfortune players, this is when you lay out your bullet time just right over both. They can't get both at the same time. While that was going on, the Lee Sin actually got taken out here by the Zed. So, again, just this game is just so back and forth. Started out with One Snap taking the early lead. Omega had to come back, but now things are pretty even once more. Zed showing his skill here. And by the way, Zed was first pick. Like, not even like first pick on the side of One Snap, but first pick overall this draft. So interesting.
It's it's do or die now. I think One Snap just want to really show off their skills. I mean, if this is going to be the last match, how the viewers going to remember us, let's make it memorable, right? Let's go ahead and do something different.
Go out fighting, go out with a bang here. Or, just win and events in the playoffs. One of the two. In the case, taking a look at the One Snap's POV and Wukong on the Blanche here. You actually saw the Misfortune pick up the stasis item there. Seems like, a nice hedge because
Hourglass?
Previously, the Hourglass, because previously, obviously, she built the GA, the Guardian Angel there. So picking the Hourglass instead here to make sure, that she is a bit safe in these fights. But
yeah, you gotta have one. You gotta have one or the other. Frequently, what I do is actually just buy Locket when I have GA, and then if my GA runs out, I'll sell my Locket and then turn it into a Stasis Enchant. This way, you always have some kind of protection.
Okay. We have One Snap trying to take the Baron here. They have denied vision, at least for it's a tiny bit, but here comes Omega. They have sniffed this out, and they are not going to let that happen. The Baron goes on the half health, but I don't think either team can really take him. Nice route here coming out from the Jin, but doesn't seem like either team can really take it. In the meantime, a bit of skirmish on the bottom there. Jin's going to go in and try to take out this Garen. I'm not sure it's going to result in the kill, and no, it doesn't.
Yeah. I've tried in practice mode, you know, like on full build Zed with Mortal Reminder. And the Garen is under level because of the AI. And I can't kill the Garen with full combo, landing everything.
Oh my goodness, the Rip Scaler gets taken out, but Wukong just immediately gets taken out for his sins there. And we have this fight continuing on. Can't really tell what's going on here. It looks like the Akali gets taken out in the end as well.
They traded Braum. They traded a support.
Yeah, so it's Braum for the Wukong and the Akali. Not the greatest trade here for one snap.
Yeah, it's one support for 2 carries. Now, and most importantly, if jungle is down, that's like a huge signal for starting objectives. If you look at Omega's perspective, it doesn't seem like they want anything, but that's a huge win for them.
Yeah, it looks like they're just kind of resetting here for the Dragon, potentially. It's very easy to kind of throw on the Baron, especially since these death timers aren't that long. But, you know, to add to that, it's funny because the Wukong died specifically because he was getting the vision. So even if he dies, he's not going to give up the Baron so easily.
Yeah.
Gotta get that vision. Gotta make sure.
The poor life of, you know, jungler who have to get visions. Don't you just wish that your team have somebody else who do that job?
Yeah.
The Baron, once again, being contested.
Are they really going? This is insane from one snap. They're just forcing this so hard. The Baron is down to half health. Here come Omega to try to contest it. And again, it's a level playing field. In comes the Lee Sin, but unfortunately knocks him the wrong direction. Has to use the rockets to get out of there. The ult gets popped here from Jid. Just sloppy play from both sides, popping ults that are completely useless here.
Trading skills, right? We call it trading skills or trading cooldowns. I mean, let's see whose ultimate is shorter, so we can use it again.
Let me show you what I got.
Yeah, I mean, yes, we use everything, but don't worry, my cooldowns are shorter than yours. Okay, the Dragon.
Yeah, the Dragon's getting taken here by Omega, but here comes the contest. They go in. Can Wukong seal it? No, it gets taken down by the Lee Sin, and the Wukong goes down as well. Terrible, just kind of communication here from one snap. They are going to try to push onto this turret, but Wukong maybe didn't need to die there in the end, especially since it wasn't an Elder Dragon.
Wow, I mean, again, that's a big Wukong takedown over there. A little bit more action topside, it seems like.
Oh, yeah, look, so the Fiora actually popped the ult onto the Akali, but she gets out of there scot-free, at least for the moment. The Zed gets taken down by the Braum of all people, and that is what looks to be a 2-for-1. Only the Fiora gets taken out there in exchange for the Zed and the Akali. Again, a bad trade here if you are one snap.
Yeah, that's Baron play for Omega right here. In fact, let's take a look at Omega's perspective. The Baron's under siege right here.
Yeah, the Baron down to 2k health. Can they pick it up? It actually gets taken down by Omega here. The contest comes in from Wukong once again, trying to kind of save him, but cannot do so as he does get taken out. Wukong actually falls as well. And yeah, not looking too good if you are one snap. Now the Baron's going to be pushing against them. They are down in gold, down in, even-ish in turrets, but are going to be down in turrets in short order here, as Omega's going to be pushing down with this Baron buff on their side.
That's truly unfortunate. Right now, it's no longer up to you what you can do to win the game. For one snap, it's completely under the grace of their opposition, right? Like, how many mistakes is what Omega going to make to give their opposition a chance?
Yeah, that could be the case here. It looks like Fiora's going to try to jump in on the, or was that the Lee Sin actually? The Fiora jumped in for a moment there, backed off after she popped her ult because she was extremely low. The Lee Sin does finish off the kill onto the Zed. As you can see, the misfortune of Braum pushing into this turret, Braum using his amazing defensive kills just to ward them off. You see Garen pushing into that bottom lane. The mid-inhibitor turret's down. Actually, pushing onto the Nexus. Can they really get this? I think this might be a little bit too aggressive since they are extremely far ahead, referring, of course, to Omega Esports here.
Now they're backing away. And this is the thing. When you have a monkey be the sole initiator of the team, it's really, really hard. Like, he has to get vision. He has to get everything. This is why I don't like it. I personally is not a big fan of jungler being the sole initiator. And this is why. This is the game that you see why, right? You put jungle in so much risk. If jungle dies, you lose all objectives. If you die as support and the jungler stays alive, there might be, like, it actually give enemy the threat. Like, at least mentally say, okay, their jungler is still alive. There is a 50-50 chance we'll lose this dragon. We lose this Baron. But if your jungler is dead, like, there's almost no chance for you to steal anything.
Yeah, you could argue that Zed and Akali are ones to, kind of get in on the action at the front lines as well, but they're kind of there to take out one enemy and get out, right? Whereas Wukong, he's usually in there for the long haul. He does have a bit of escape in his kit, but not a whole lot. And usually, he jumps in there, the support jumps in there. They're all in there. They're getting the work done. But in this case, it's been Wukong all by him lonesome. And it's not
I think this is back to what you said, D2, in the early game, where when the game first started. This really comes to lack of synergy in the picks, between for Team One Snap. They have some good picks, and then individually it makes sense, but when it comes to team fight, speaking of team fight top lane,
exactly. The Lee Sin does go in onto them. The one misfortune is to kind of get out of there. Uses the bullet time, gets knocked up immediately, gets out of that channel, and the Zed is trying to get on her, get lots of damage, but here comes the revenge from Misfortune. Even though she goes extremely low, tries to get on, uses the stasis to keep herself alive. The Wukong has to use the clone to get away. There goes the Akali trying to get the damage, but there's no fear from this Misfortune. Maybe it's because she has that GA on her side, going to be able to take down this turret as well, as Omega Esports is on the warpath. They've already taking down 2 inhibitors. Can they take down one more here? One siege minion. The only thing left, so they're going to go ahead and back off and take that Elder Dragon. And this could be actually the beginning of the end here.
Oh my goodness. Let's take a look at a replay, like how hard it is to kill that kill that Misfortune.
Yeah, especially when you miss that ability as Akali there. That's the the bulk of her damage, and she was unable to pick that up. Just very unfortunate there. As you see on the small screen and now on your big screen here, the Elder Dragon was taken by Omega. And if they weren't extremely far ahead before, well, they certainly are now. Baron is up. They are up mightily in kills. Unfortunately for them, the Baron is on the same side as the turrets that they killed earlier, but still, they still have massive leads here.
Yeah, this is once again why personally not a big fan of 2 assassin comps, because you can't come back. It's really hard for you to come back. Now, team fights happening once again.
Yeah, it absolutely is. GA is popped here for the side of, I believe that's one snap. So able to get one GA popped, but the Misfortune has their back, pops the bullet time at the exact right time, and we just have death going left and right. Lee Sin does fall, but in exchange, so too it does the Wukong, the Akali, and the Janna. And I think this might be the beginning. And then can they finish it right here? Looks like they're pushing him on to the Nexus here with a GA on this Misfortune. I think this is all but over. Zed can do nothing. Omega Esports takes it 2-0. And one snap go from 2-0, go from being in first in the group to now almost certainly they're going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Almost certainly eliminated.
Wow. I mean, Omega being one of the last in the group because they lost week 1. Now to the first one to make it out of the group and to go into the playoff. I mean, in playoff, we're definitely gonna have player interviews. We're gonna have to interview to see how they feel right now. This must feel pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, I feel pretty awesome because we don't have to go through tiebreakers.
Yep, let's take a look. Quickly come back to the analyst desk here. What you're seeing right now is the last play to how hard it is to kill the Misfortune. But we're going to take a look at the bracket right now to see the current standing. This is exactly what's happening, right? Omega right now is sitting at the top of the list, and they have 5 points, meaning 5 small match wins, and they won a total of 2 matches and a lost 1 on the big matches. So right now they have the highest points in the game, and even if you look at all the possible scenarios, they are already out of the group. So big congrats to Omega for making it out.
Right, yeah. Omega is already out. For one snap, it's okay. We'll just look at, so it's going to be Big Etron versus Solo Soy, right?
Yeah.
If Big Etron wins, then they'll be 2-1, but they'll have 5 points, and so that means one snap is out. If Big Etron loses, then they'll be 1-2. Solo Soy will be 1-2, and one snap will be 2-1, and one snap will be in the playoffs. So one snap are crossing their fingers that Solo Soy wins. Unfortunately, Solo Soy hasn't won a single game yet. So that's why I said it's very, very unlikely that Big Etron doesn't defeat Solo Soy later on. Who knows? Maybe Solo Soy will surprise us. But basically, one snap, they're going for one snap. They're changing the formation of their hand, right? They're going from the snap formation to the cross your fingers formation here, because they really need Solo Soy to win.
Oh my goodness! What a comeback story from Omega here. I still couldn't believe, because they were the last, and all of a sudden, they're the first. You know, once they have defeated Bigatron, have defeated Soul of Soy, they're sitting at a good spot.
Yep. Well,
Boom.
That's how it happens. You're not out until you're officially out of the group, and Mega just showed that you can't rest on your laurels here.
I mean, before we go into a break right here, I do want to do a big shout out to our wonderful sponsors of the Wild Rift Asia Brawl. If you're watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen, Wild Rift Asia Brawl is sponsored by Trovo.live. Trovo is hosting a variety of tournaments, events for League of Legends Wild Rift, with a bunch of prizes for you to claim, including 30,000 Wild Core giveaway starting next weekend. So get your stuff ready. Use the link in the chat to go to Trovo.live, watch the stream over there, and also the Sunday matches and the grand finals for each stage will be streamed on Trovo exclusively. So make sure to head to Trovo right away. Do not miss your opportunity. Get your account, get your seat warmed up on Trovo. If you're watching the stream right here, Wild Rift Competitive is central place for all things competitive. Make sure to use the link in description to follow their social medias. Make sure to follow Wild Rift Competitive for anything you want to learn about Wild Rift competitive news. And also, on top of that, make sure to follow our beautiful, sexy caster D2 with his social link in the chat right now. Follow his Twitter account for any future events he will get himself involved in. Last but not the least, if you're watching the stream, ladies and gentlemen, all the previous matches now stored on the AssassinDave YouTube channel. If you're looking for the previous 2 weeks matches, it doesn't matter which one it is. If you're looking for those, all you have to do now is use the link, use the playlist, and find a Wild Rift Asia Brawl, and there you go. You know, you can find all the matches being beautifully archived. I can't believe how beautifully, you know, they're saved over there. So make sure to head over there. Once again, this is the Wild Rift Asia Brawl 2021 group stage, week 3, and match 1 just being concluded. Big shout out to Omega for making out a group stage. We're gonna go ahead and take a short break. We'll see you guys in the next game. Bigatron versus Soul of Soy. See y'all soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the group stage of the Wild Rift Asia Brawl Week 3, Day 1. This is the second match. Bigatron Infinity taking on Soul of Soy. The winner will decide will settle the group. And who's going to make out of the group stage all up to the next match. Now, I'm going to quickly invite the beautiful Caster D2 to explain the bracket to our lovely viewers before we step into game 1. How are you doing, D2?
I'm doing okay. We lost our screen share, but I'm doing all right other than that. So, yeah, we just saw, obviously, somewhat of a surprise in not only a win here from Omega over One Snap, but a 2-0 win, which is really, really bad for One Snap, and not the performance they wanted. So that means that if Big E-Tron defeat Tolosoy, they are in the playoffs. If they lose, they're out of the playoffs, and then One Snap would be in their place. Tolosoy cannot make the playoffs, but they can play spoiler.
Yep. And now, the first game, Ben Pig is on our way. So with that in mind, guys, let's step into game 1 between Big Tron Infinity and Soul of Soy.
You're so devious when you say it that way. Taking a look at these bans, Biggie-tron has banned Gragas and Akali, and Solosoy has banned Olaf and Lee Sin. These were kind of meta bans as of like a few weeks ago, but I don't know. There's no Kennen ban. There's some other champions that could have been banned here, but not the craziest, I would say.
Yep. And then sure enough, Kennen will be first picked by Soul of Soy right there, since it's not banned. With that being said, I mean, actually, it's not Soul of Soy. It's first picked. Yeah, it is by Soul of Soy. Well, that's kind of okay. When I see some Thailand languages, kind of confused me for a second there. Okay, so it is.
I have a story for you, Dave. So after I casted a couple of games with Kennen in it and realized how broken he was, I had a couple drinks. I actually played some PvP games. I was like, you know what? I'm feeling some liquid courage here from this alcohol. And so I went on and I played Kennen in ranked while drunk, and I just won almost every single game. It was very nice. I was like, this is a nice champion.
Yeah, I'm glad you're taking advantage of it. And for those who have not been taking advantage of it, you better do that, because we got news from the developer that this is not going to last for a few more days. Because that was a few days ago when the chief gameplay director, I think, from Wild Rift, tweeted about how you only got about a week before Kennen got huge nerfed.
Yep. And it's definitely warranted, because if I, with my very limited skill, can go in there and just like wreck face with Kennen, then it definitely deserves a nerf. But rest in peace, Kennen. But for now, he's extremely strong. He didn't get banned. We'll see if Solosoy can manage to pull off an upset victory here. Yeah,
they got some sick wombo combos. Right, if you look at our composition, it's Alistar into Wukong, and those two knocks cannot be cancelled. Remember that Kennen's stun can be cleansed if you do get QSS, right? The Quicksilver enchant. But the knockups cannot be cleansed. So they have Alistar, they got Wukong, and then on top of it, they got a huge cannon ult. Ooh, a little bit of trade here on both sides.
Yeah, that could be obviously devastating, like you mentioned there. But I like to joke that the wombo combo is just Kennen pops his ult, and that's about it. Yeah. But obviously, getting them knocked up kind of ensures that they are dead. As the invade comes in here, and Wukong does steal away that red buff. So Solosoy looking pretty good, just based on the draft and based on their early game here.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit trade. On the other side, it seems like Bigatron have gotten the red buff of their own, from their Soul of Soy jungle. A little bit trade. Bigatron's stream is a little bit laggy at this point, so let's switch back to Soul of Soy's perspective. Pretty even early game. But if you do look at Soul of Soy's composition, for those who are not able to see everybody on the camera, ooh, a little bit of action coming out first though.
Yeah, a bit of trouble is Wukong here. Has to go ahead and burn his flash just to get out of there. Obviously doesn't have a second ability yet, so he can't really use that to get away quite yet. Actually, wait, he's level 3. Did he screw up his leveling? I guess he just wants to
farm.
Yeah, he just wants to farm, but got punished pretty hard there because he had to burn his flash when perhaps his clone could have gotten out of there safely here. So good punish here from the big E-Tron. We'll see how this pans out. But like you were saying, I guess I'll just say it right now. So we have Camille, who is our potential POV if we do switch over to the Big Etron side at some point. And they also have the Ezreal, the Braum, the Orianna, and the Graves. So that is their comp right now.
I mean, their comp is pretty good really good at small skirmishes. The big team fights mainly rely on Orianna poke first. Oh, a little bit more skirmish happening though.
Yeah, some damage coming out here onto both the Kennen and the Wukong as they try to get away. So I was looking at the other perspective for a moment there, so didn't catch this for a moment. But it looks like they're going to be trying to push onto this Kennen. Can they get the kill? Obviously, we can't see right now. They do. Wukong taking a peek over just in time to see his ally go down. That's first blood over to Big Etron. Multiple members pretty low. Let's see if they'll decide to go ahead and push in there. Obviously, you can see that so Dave, you can see here that they've actually switched their lanes. We have both the support and the Ezreal in the bottom lane, opposite from the Dragon.
Yeah, Bigatron I think started the switch. They have their marksman into the Baron lane, and they have the Baron lane into the Dragon lane. Right, Camille is in the Dragon lane. We haven't seen much of Camille because right now, from what we can see here, Bigatron's stream is still quite a bit laggy. Do mind that we are, thanks to the limitation of the technology that we have right now, we're still watching the players' streams, but we got some insider news that spectator mode is coming in within a week or so. So hopefully we can get that for playoffs. But right now, we're still limited to like the player stream qualities that we can get access to.
Yeah, I'm desperately waiting for that because having to cast off of not only players' perspectives where we can't see everything, but on top of that, the fact that a lot of times it lags it can be very frustrating. So looking forward to that ever so dearly. So it looks like we are on our normal lanes again, as the dual lane from both sides is in the top lane on your screen, and obviously the Camille and the Kennen going at it in the bottom lane. Camille actually can be a reasonable response to Kennen just because she's continuously pushing in, and Kennen can't really join those team fights. So could be a nice pick here for the side of Big Etron in order to take this match down in the end. Obviously, we're still looking at Soy. They don't have vision on the Drake, and not sure if it's being taken for the moment. They do have vision. No, looks like both teams are going to go ahead and potentially back off for the moment.
Here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes. The potential edge. Oh my god, the ultimate goes onto the clone. That is very unfortunate here if you are foul. But in it comes. The Kennen gets lots of damage off. And two already go down, the Camille and the Braum. That is a great start to the fight here for Soy as they push into the Dragon. But is there going to be a re-engage coming here from Big Etron? The Kennen is extremely low. Not the great communication here from Soy. As lots of members are getting extremely low. The Alistair has nary a health point left. And oh my goodness, they come in and use the smite, but they do not get the Dragon. And Wukong gets away for now. There is, this shield comes in. Is it going to get him? Yes, the Camille ends up taking him out in the end. I gotta say, Dave, what the heck is going on? A bit sloppy play. The smite was, we physically saw the smite being used too early here from the Big Etron, but they get out with the kill in the end.
Yeah. Not only that, they're looking for the first tower in mid right now.
Yeah, they after killing the Wukong, they killed the Kennen, and now they've killed the tower. So, it started out well for Soy, but even losing the Dragon, I think Big Etron's pretty happy with 2 kills in the turret.
Yeah, I mean,
take a look at this. Like they jump. So okay. Extremely disorganized. Alistair gets taken down super low, but then watch this. They jump in. And then the smite comes, but it's at the wrong time.
Yeah, it was a little bit too early because you have to guess like how much damage your enemies are doing, and sometimes like that can be disorienting. But the most important mistake I think that Soy made is they won team fight, but then once they won, more skirmishes happening. Speaking of team fights, okay, seems like just trade off HPs. But back to what we're saying, they won the team fight. They should continue with the team fight or just back away because they don't have that team fight anymore.
Yeah, one or the other, right? Either they all jump onto the Dragon or they all go in. But let's say we have another team fight breaking out here over the Rift Herald. Multiple members are low on each side. Alistair's going to have to back off. In comes the Wukong with his ult. Gets a wild growth on him as well just to keep him alive. And that was a disastrous fight here for Soy. They're going to have to go ahead and back off and give away the Rift Herald here. We can see on the screen that Graves has picked it up. In fact, they're using that to go ahead and invade as well. They're not going to give Wukong any room here. As you can see, the gank is coming in. Camille's pushing in the mid lane, 4 into that bottom lane, pushing in potentially onto the Ketted. The Braum is just staring him down. Can they make a comeback here? It looks like Braum taken on a matter of seconds, but the ult comes out from Orianna, gets them extremely low. One member's trying to run away. They do take out the Kennen, and the Wukong might be next here. The Orianna trying to get some damage onto him, but he's extremely low. Everyone he's just cornered. He's just cornered. He's gonna maybe jump onto the Orianna, but doesn't get the kill in the end. But the re-engage comes out here from Solo Soy. The bullet time comes out. The dash there from Israel, able to get him out in the end. And one more kill at the very end there. I saw. Okay, Alistair went down. Yeah, I saw. It said 3 to 5, and then it went 3 to 6. I'm like, who died? I guess it was Alistair at the very end there. So unfortunate for Solo Soy.
Soy composition, their win condition is to team fight. We talked about it starting off. By the way, we're only looking at Soy's perspective because, again, the other perspective is quite laggy. It's lagging every other frame. Well, let's go back to what I was trying to say. Their composition win condition is team fights. What they need to do is use objectives to bait out team fights. Like, instead of forcing on the objectives, the reason why they lost the Rift Herald fight is because they were half-assed, right? Monkey, they forgot why they're here. They're trying to use what they need to do is use the objective to bait out team fights, not actually take the objectives while more fights happening mid, like just engage and back off. So they shouldn't be forcing on the objectives. The same as the dragon fight. They want a team fight. What they need to do is kind of push enemy away, either reset and get ready for the next team fight. That's what they need to do. Constantly fights. But instead of trying to like fight continuous fight, because their team fight. Their team is a burst, right? They do a lot of damage when they all have their skills ready, and after it's done, they're done. Right? They need to run away, but they didn't do that.
What is this? You see the Orianna just jumping in on the Alistair. I think it's a little bit too aggressive here if the Orianna. Can she get away? Everything being used on her finally goes down. So yeah, a bit of a blunder here from the side of Big E-tron, but that was interesting to say the least.
Yeah, definitely bite out more than what she can chew there on the Orianna. I mean, chasing Alistair was fun and stuff, but
it's all fun in games until they turn on you.
Yeah, but you're not a farmer after all, you know. You're a princess, a ball princess.
Well, she farms minions. She doesn't farm massive cows that can stun you and don't die very easily. So.
True. Because you don't have any mobility on Orianna. So if you're gonna chase the target that deep, I mean, you can counter the fact and get punished. So, but that won't change the course of the game here. I don't think. One little kill here does go to the side of Soy. Overall, Bigatron is still taking the full control of this game because. Again, I think from the first 2 team fights that we saw, it was just very clustered. They have to understand exactly why they're here, and they have to take team fight it like decisively. You know, one engage after another, chain those CCs, and then you have to take away their entire enemy team, or at least the jungle or the Graves, before you proceed to the next objective. But do use objective debate though.
Yeah, it's been the story of Solo Soy this entire tournament thus far, unfortunately for them. They haven't won a game yet, and it's mostly because of their disjointed nature, right? They're not really going in on any of the objectives together or taking team fights together, and that's why you've seen them drop all of the games thus far. They're down in this one, but not out quite yet. Can they pick up their first win potentially here? Riptail does come out here from Big E-tron, trying to push down onto this bottom tower. Looks like it's going to get taken out almost certainly. Kennen goes in, uses his ultimate, uses the flash. There comes the stasis here, and the ultimate comes out just to try to put them away. They almost have the kill onto Orianna. She has to use her flash as well, and jumps onto her. Is the Wukong just to finish off that kill? He's going to be joining back into this fight here. The Wild Goat goes into one of the members, but he's extremely low. Has to use the clone to get away. Gets the 100 foot to get himself back up to get back into the fight. Actually, the Misfortune gets the kill onto the Graves as well. This is actually looking okay for Solo Soy as they get one more kill. Alistair does go down in train. Oh my god, the Ezreal fighting strong, trying to get in there is extremely low. So many members so extremely low, trying to go for the Lulu, who's going to finish this one off. And Lulu gets the kill in the end. However, while all this was happening, we had the Camille just completely pushing down that top lane, able to kill the Ketted. So that is the price for the win in the team fight, Dave. They win the team fight, but their entire top lane gets pushed in.
I mean, but at what cost? That's what I can say, right? Let's go back to take a quick look. I mean, I think it's a nice juggle of aggro there from Soy. They were everybody was playing to the extreme, to the limit of what they can possibly tank, and it turned out to be Lulu getting a last kill. It was nice and all, and then I thought that team fight was actually going to turn dirty for them because they used everything Orianna, and then in a not so chained quad control fashion, right? The damage wasn't dealt in the same time. But they actually ended up winning because Bigatron wasn't ready to respond to that. It seemed like Bigatron's team fight was also kind of dragged. They were now focusing on one person at all, and Camille wasn't even there. Camille was split pushing the whole time.
Yeah, Camille did a good job split pushing. It seems like Bigatron's being a little bit sloppy though. Like if you look at the fact that Orianna randomly died earlier in the team fight, they weren't coming for Orianna, right? They were just like, okay, you're on your own. See ya. They didn't punish anyone for chasing, basically flashing after Orianna the entire time. So Bigatron not totally cohesive, but they still have a pretty sizable lead. Even though the kills are similar, I guarantee you that Bigatron has a lead in gold, and they certainly have a lead in towers.
Yeah, just look at this turrets, right? There's only two outer turret towers standing, and then that towers with only two outer towers standing, it's not going to be long until they got taken down because you don't have any more coverage. If you connect all the dots again, they're not like a very organized net. You know, it's kind of like a little extra tower standing out there. It's gonna be taken down really fast because now look at the damage.
Yeah, sorry, the Bush Party here from Bigatron trying to get as much damage as possible. They get Wukong pretty darn low. In comes the engage here from Alistair, but not going to see anything from his side. And looks like they're going to go ahead and back off. The Drake is available, however.
But Cannon's not there. Without Cannon, they cannot take on any team fights. Cannon's a key part of that equation, of the whole wombo combo party there, So without Cannon, they simply can't take anything. They have to let the dragon go. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Smart choice.
It seems like Camille has been a great choice here for Bigatron, right? Because either Wukong or Cannon has to match her. No one else can match her except for those two, right? But if Wukong or Cannon match her, then they can't win the team fight because they need both those guys for the team fight. So if it's on Solosoy to take the team fight as 5, but they've been so disorganized, I don't really trust Solosoy to take a good 5v5 team fight.
And even if they send like one person to go match her, they cannot match her right like in a one-on-one situation because this Camille is so huge. She has been farming the whole game. Yeah,
those are the only two who can maybe match her, right? Not even a guarantee. So that's
probably have to send more people. Send more people
Yeah,
and bait out the Camille all like what he did early on with Wukong's clone. That's probably the only win condition in my opinion.
Well, speaking of which, you see Camille on your minimap there, pushing over in that top lane, trying to force a response here out of the Solosoy side. You see Cannon trying to match her in that lane, but that means that the rest of Solosoy has to go ahead and back off because they can't really take a proper team fight. Baron is up for grabs, but not started quite yet. There is vision here onto Bigatron from Solosoy. I'm not sure Bigatron realizes there's a ward in that bush there, but going to continue to defend here from Solosoy. It looks like they're going to try to push it potentially onto this Camille, trying to surround her, but she does get away because she is a very, very slippery, and in the meantime, the Baron is started here from Bigatron. Can they knock it down? Oh my goodness, a big stun comes from the Baron. It's down to 1/3 health. Can they finish it off? Here comes the engage. The Alistair's in, gets the knock up. The Wukong is in, gets blinded for a second there, but it's extremely low. Who's going to take the end? The Wukong does get it, and it actually is able to knock up in the end. There is the ult coming out from the Orianna, trying to make this happen here for Bigatron. 2 down, 3 down here from Bigatron, and Solosoy have actually taken this fight and taken the Baron. Oh my goodness.
Nice. What a beautiful, beautiful execution there from Bigatron. Again, this time, the reason why they won is because they went for the team fight first.
No, Solosoy won. Sorry,
I'm talking about Bigatron. Soy, excuse me.
Yeah.
The reason why they won the team fight is because they went for the team fight first, right? They didn't go for the objective right away. And then, all at the same time, Bigatron was hitting the Baron. So when, one person was hitting it. I forgot who it was. We can take a look, quickly take a look at a replay there. And see exactly what went down. Graves trying to get the Baron coming in was too late because they already did all the quad control, and then Monkey got it, but now when Cannon jumps in, it was just a devastating team fight. What a beautiful steal on the Baron there from Soy. So that was game changing.
Yeah, Graves actually got 2 kills at the end there. They otherwise it would have been just a 4 for 0. So Graves made it happen in the end. It could have been even more devastating. I feel like, again, Bigatron kind of dropping the ball, letting Solosoy get in there. And do you think it was a mistake for Camille to join that fight? Do you think she should have just taken on the inhibitor?
Yeah, keep a split pushing, maybe. Because also another thing that I now look back at the team fight is when Soy started the team fight, I think Bigatron's whole communication is like spread out, right? Because you don't want to get wombo combo together. And then that kind of just more team fight happening mid.
Yeah, they're actually pushing in under this turret. Here comes the Wukong, but he might be a little bit late here. It's already a 1-for-1 from each side. The GA gets popped. Is he gonna be able to get on out of there? No, he gets locked up. Doesn't quite have the damage to take anyone out on the side of Big Etron. It's gonna be a 2-for-1 in Big Etron's favor. Kennen and Wukong going down for Orianna. So Big Etron really holding strong here despite the earlier mishaps.
Yeah. I mean, back to what I was saying, I think Bigatron was a little bit disorganized over there in that team fight. You can tell from the way they played, they're all spread out, but then they couldn't quickly regroup back together. And that definitely gave Soy the chance to win that team fight there. Now, this is Infernal, Outer Dragon, we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. Camille gets aggressive on, but she immediately turns around and uses her ult here. And that means that Lulu is going to get taken on. Actually, already used the wild growth as well. Going to see actually more aggression onto this Alistar. He gets taken out as well. So Lulu and Alistar. I just now realized that they have Lulu and Alistar, but which is maybe not the greatest combo. But yeah, they both get taken out, which means that the dragon does go over to Big Etron.
I don't know why they were there to begin with, to be honest. Like, I know Outer Dragon's important, but remember, the wombo combo, you need Cannon, you need Wukong all at the same time. And that's basically what DQ been talking about the whole time, because Camille's giving so much lane pressure, where the Cannon couldn't make it to the team fighting time. So now, the two support, Lulu and Alistar actually try to go over there. Like, yeah, Lulu is in mid lane, but like she's really a support, right, in the end. So you don't have damage. Even if you go, like, what's the point? They just fed 2 kills and give the Elder for free. That surely completely, again, shift the table now to Bigatron's favor.
Yeah, and not to mention that if we go back, right, it was the Wukong and it was the Kennen for the Orianna. And Orianna, she does damage, but not consistent damage to the Elder Dragon, right? So when you're going to fight, you're never going to go win that fight for an objective like that. That is so true. You see Wukong here. If you look at the minimap, they're both sides are kind of just dancing around the Baron. So it looks like to be the next objective on both sides. Keep in mind though, we kind of hinted at it, but we should reaffirm to our viewers, Big Etron did take the Elder Dragon, so that's a big deal here.
Yeah, this Elder Dragon, Elder Infernal. I mean, I don't know how much dragon they had. I think it's 2-2.
3. No, 3? It's 3 to 1.
Yeah, if they have 3 dragons, that's like 20% damage boost, That's insane. I mean, 4% each, 16% damage boost. That's still insane.
Math on stream, Monk S. Don't do math on stream. Anyway, sorry.
I'm a fake Asian.
No. I used to be a Hearthstone streamer. I don't think Riot will get mad at us for mentioning a completely unrelated game, but it's like doing you do a lot of math on stream, and it's just like oh no.
Damn. Well, it's a lot of damage boost at this point of the game. Getting that much damage boost, and most importantly, it's not just that damage boost straight up. It's mainly the true damage. I'm mainly talking about the true damage. Okay, here it comes.
Yep. No, it's completely. They're so late, but they're going for the Nexus. They're going for the back door. Wait, can they get there in time? Wait a second. Look, Wukong, look at it. Look at it. Oh my goodness, it's extremely low. Can they take him out? This is so low. Oh my god, and Wukong wasn't there. The communication. Where was the communication? I guess he was just kind of there to like feign pressure onto the Baron. But wait, Wukong's gonna try to backdoor anyway. Wait. Someone needs to be back, just in case, right?
Somebody...
Wait. Someone has to be back, right? Okay, Camille's back. Okay. I was going to say, if Wukong is backdoors right now... 2 are back, actually. Interesting. Okay, so they're just going to... They're just making sure.
Now you
They're
can't.
just making sure.
Now you really can't. Oh, it's too late.
It's over.
Yep.
Yeah, they all died at the same time. So, especially with the Baron minions pushing up mid... And there was obviously no resistance at all. Like, you'd be surprised how quickly you can win a game when there's no resistance, right? So
yeah,
so very, very smart play from Big Etron, realizing that realizing that like we're going to take no chances. We're sending back both Camille and our Braum to make sure that he can't backdoor. So well played by Biggie Tron to get in the end.
Wow, but it's a smart thing from Soy, like because they know they couldn't fight anymore with the Outer Infernal, so they're going for like a very cheeky play. But it's just if Monkey was there, they could have gotten the Nexus. To be honest, like Monkey wasn't.
Is like just the communication wasn't there, right? Because like I assume they were trying to pretend like he was contesting, but he should have stopped some backs, right? Like
sure,
if he's
sure.
So, like, I know the Baron back is quick, but he could have stopped some back. I mean, just to that could have been an amazing play from Solo Soy, but the communication just wasn't there. Okay, let's watch this again. Yeah. Because I wasn't sure, like, where... I was just so flabbergasted that the backdoor was possible that I didn't even think of... Yeah, the teleport comes out. Teleport comes out from Kennen.
Everybody teleported. What?
Like, they all had teleport.
Everybody was ready for that. Except for Monkey. But Monkey...
he needs to stop the backs. What's he doing?
Yeah, literally, if you do one or the other, if you just go in and... Okay, look, there are 5 people here, right? If you go and sacrifice himself... If right now sacrifice himself and stop the back, they could have gotten this win, in my opinion.
Yeah, they definitely could have. It got so low. The Nexus got so low. Oh my goodness. This is either terrible communication... Actually, we gotta say it. It's on Wukong. Because... Even if he sees what his team is doing, he's got to go in there and stop the backs. I know the Baron backs are very quick, but I mean,
he had time. So
he had time.
Yeah,
sure.
He had time. Like right here, like either I don't know why he didn't buy it because everybody else did. Like apparently it's already communicating their team because everybody has teleport.
Yeah,
and then,
doesn't make sense for like everyone to have teleport, right?
Yeah,
so he's here and like he already sees his team. He already sees his entire team teleporting. He should just flash in, use his ult, just delay them as long as possible.
Yeah, use your clone, go in, like use your ult for the first time, use your clone, to hide for a little bit, and then use your ult again, just so they don't recall.
Literally 1 second of delay, and they could have won that. 1 second of delay, and he could have won that. Oh my goodness. That could have been such a crazy play.
Yeah, that could have been the biggest play of the entire. I mean. The most creative play of the entire tournament so far.
Yeah, for sure.
That was close though. That was close. So once again, but big shout out to Silver Soy for trying to pull a beautiful play like that to bring us some kind of surprise of the day here, ladies and gentlemen. Before we continue the second game between Bigatron and Silver Soy, I do want to do a big shout out to the sponsor of the tournament, Trovo.live. Trovo is hosting a variety of tournaments events for League of Legends Wild Rift with sponsored prizes for you to claim, including 30,000 Wild Core giveaway starting next week. So what you waiting for? Head to Trovo.live with the link in the chat right now. Most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, you can now share the stream with your friends on Trovo and get rewarded. You can get the on-platform currency, which then you can use to support your favorite streamers. All your favorite streamers are going to head to Trovo eventually because they're building the biggest community for Wild Rift. Head over to Trovo.live for the link in the chat right away. Big shout out to Wild Rift competitive teams. Wild Rift competitive is central place for all things competitive. They host weekly tournaments and events for the community. They also provide an easy way to find scrimmage and recruit for your team. What are you waiting for? Use their social media links in the description and find Wild Rift competitive and go sign up for the next tournament. Make sure you follow our sexy, handsome caster D2 with his social link in the chat right now. Use the link to follow D2 on Twitter if you want to follow him in his future events, future journeys. And last but not least, all the previous matches now stored in the AssassinDave YouTube channel. Head to Wild Rift Asia Brawl playlist, and you will find all the games over there. With that, we're going to go ahead and take a short 2-minute breaks. This is your time to share the stream once again on Trovo, and get your soda, get your popcorn. The second match between Bigatron and Silver Soy starting shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, humans and pets, welcome back to the 2021 Wild Rift Asia Brawl. I'm your caster, AssassinDave. With me, the one and only sexy D2. We're now in the match 2, the game 2 between Bigatron and Soy in the last game ever in the first group, a group stage. It's going to be very, very exciting. If Bigatron wins this game, they will be out of the group stage. They will make it to the playoff. But if they lose this game, we'll go to game 3 and see what happens. I mean, D2, what do you think about the situation right now?
I think that Bigatron is very happy. I think they're very happy that they saw the win come out from Omega earlier, right? Because although, well, I guess it doesn't really matter to them. Because if they win, they get through. Well, it doesn't matter to Bigatron, but kind of a sloppy game from them. I think they have a replacement player. It looks like who was it?
It seems like we do have a player swap from Bigatron's side. They swapped out Deva for Nuts. So now Bigatron has a Nuts instead of Deva. Dua or Deva. Interesting swap over there. Doesn't matter how, remember guys, doesn't matter how Bigatron win, how they win. If they win 2-1, if they win 2-0. If they win, they're off to the playoffs, okay? Yep. So don't worry about the intricacies, but obviously right now they're in a really good position because this is their match point. And the second game, Ban Pig, is already underway. So without further ado, let's quickly send it to the caster's desk.
Well, welcome to the caster's desk, Dave. Nice to see you here.
Yeah.
Don't trip running over to the caster's desk from the host desk. Right,
Don't worry, there's no stairs. We'll make sure. I told the construction worker we took away the stairs, so I will be safe for now. But if you're watching the stream, guys, make sure to share, like, subscribe, and turn the bell on. Share the stream on Trovo.live. You see the share button right there. You can click on the share to share the stream with your friends and get rewarded on Trovo.live. Get yourself ready for the giveaways happening next week. Now let's quickly run over the second game, Ban picks, D2.
Yeah, so it's Olaf, Akali, Gragas, Orianna, and I'm looking at it. The only difference from the first game is that
a little bit disconnect, a little bit technical issues. Let me go ahead and reconnect back. All right, I think we are back in. Are we back? No, we're not back. Okay, so we're trying to get back to D2 side. The call is not really connecting properly. Okay, now we're back. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. All right. So the only difference was that Lee Sin was not banned and Orianna was. So not a whole lot of difference here. And in fact, I don't really think that Orianna was like the biggest problem last game. But
yeah,
this not too bad of a ban there. We're seeing Fiora again. What is going on? Is Fiora in the ladder?
But this time Fiora is going to be the Baron lane. I mean,
right. I mean, it makes no sense, but still.
And then if you look at the overall, we're now watching the Bigatron perspective. But if you switch back to Soy, let's look at picks. Lee Sin was first picked for Soy. They have first pick this game. What do you think about Lee Sin first pick?
Let me just double check who banned Lee Sin last game. So yeah, so Soy banned Lee Sin last game. So they apparently think very, very highly of him.
Yeah.
Every single time I've cast Dave, Lee Sin, his value always goes down as the day progresses, right?
Yeah,
like they'll go from banning him to not banning him, or they'll go from picking him to not picking him, or picking him first to picking him like last or something. So I think people have like an outsized opinion of Lee Sin. He's kind of like okay, but in my opinion, I would never really pick Lee Sin first. He just never seems to justify the first pick.
The thing is, just like you said, his value depreciates as the time goes in the game. So it's
in the game as well, not just the draft or the day, not just the day, but the game as well.
Yeah, the game. So you really have to like get a huge lead early game. Now this hero, given that this hero does have the potential to do that, right? He is really strong in the early game. Level 1, level 2, level 3s, all have power spikes. You know, level 1 is already really strong. Level 2 is stronger. Level 3 is even stronger. That's why this hero can be used to open up those early advantages. Now look at invade from Team Soy right here. Oh, it seems like Bigatron doesn't want to trade. They want to come back and defend this.
Yeah, so let's say obviously going to be able to take this red buff, but as you can see on their tails are Bigatron not really going to catch them. It seems like they were actually pushing down mid, trying to gear themselves up for potentially a team fight, but they backed off right away. So consider an advantage here for Solo Soy.
And once again, guys, sorry for the technical issues. We're still having quite a bit of lag from Bigatron's perspectives. So we're mainly going to use Soy's perspective to try to figure out exactly what's going on. But we'll try to tell you where Bigatron's perspective, where they are through the minimap that we can see here. Now, we do see quite a bit of lag from Bigatron's stream, though.
Yeah, I'm kind of switching back and forth between the two. So I guess I'll just try to match you. Looking at, obviously, Celek, I believe, on the Lee Sin right here.
Yeah. Celek.
And
I think I've seen him in rank. I also play in the C circle.
A little bit of humble brag. Like, yeah, I play on the same level as these guys. Well, we have a little bit of an engage here as Lee Sin gets a little bit stunned, but able to get away in the end. Able to pick up the Rift Skiller as well, the all-important vision. It's funny because like people all very often kind of underestimated or overestimated Rift Skiller, and well, in this case, gonna have the division for quite a long time. Gonna be pushing here onto this Ezreal. He's in a really bad spot. Nuts the placement. Oh wow. Okay. A bit of a whiff there from the Lee Sin causes him to die along with the Ezreal. Could have been just a 1-for-0, but turns into a 1-for-1.
Yeah.
Lee Sin's not gonna be happy about that whiff there.
I mean, it has to be because it's just the Q missed, right? If the Q didn't miss, I don't think Lee Sin is gonna die there. If you go back, let's see if the replay catches it. Yeah, Lee Sin is gonna go in. Unfortunately, Q did miss, so that's the unfortunate part of it. But it seems like there was a little bit more action right here.
Yeah, our Lee Sin in trouble once again, gets taken out. We have a 2-for-2 on our hands with, I believe, so he was traded for Fiora in the end. Here comes the ult from Ezreal. Doesn't really, nearly actually gets the Camille. So nice try from the Ezreal there. And both on your screen and my screen is very blurry, so I'm having a bit of trouble. It looks like it's a 2-2 in that kill count right now.
Yeah, if you look at the Bigatron perspective, I mean, look at both side team comps. This time, Bigatron, they're not really. They're much stronger in team fights. They got Braum, and most importantly, they have a cannon. And that's the we have a little bit of lag.
Yeah, the game itself is lagging in this situation. As Lee Sin, you saw him kind of running in place for a moment there, checking on his Wi-Fi, seeing if everything is all right. It unfortunately is not all right here for Lee Sin, as they're going to try to go ahead and deal with this dueling up top. Not going to get much done because of that lag, unfortunately. You can see on your mini-map there, 22 seconds on that Dragon, as both teams kind of are wary getting into this mid-game because of the lag issues.
This is the decider. If Team Soy can get a sizable advantage over here, I think it's going to be really, really good for them. Because that's what Lee Sin needs. If it doesn't get that, he's going to have problems even split pushing, because he cannot win against Fiora late game, he cannot win against Graves late game, he cannot win against any of the fighters or bruisers from Bigatron side.
Yeah, and they're on the Dragon at the moment here. Multiple members of Solo Soy kind of trying to zone people out of the fight here. The Dragon's extremely low, down to 900. It is taken down by the Lee Sin. He's going to try to go ahead and get on out of the ult popped here onto the Camille. Can she get away? Looks like she is going to be able to get away in the end. No kills on either side as the Dragon is taken by Solo Soy.
Wow. I mean, that was really nicely done from Solo Soy. I mean, this team has so much surprise and potential. To be honest, like look at the zoning from his team. I think that's just professionally done, right? Camille, they were trying to scare people away. Meanwhile, in the Dragon Pit, they have no vision. So by the time the jungler comes in or cannon comes in, everybody made it out. So getting the Dragon with 0 casualties is nice, but again, that's not that much of a lead. If this scales to late game, though, Soy does have Kai'Sa as the skilling monster. Now, on the other side, the corresponding marksman for Bigatron is Israel, which is also really strong.
Yep. Well, okay, we have a bit of an engage here onto the top lane here. The Graves and the Braum combining here to hold it off for the moment. Israel cleaning up that lane, but a bit scary if you are big Etron. But yeah, like you mentioned, it's as long as the Solo Soy kind of trades evenly into the late game, they're going to be pretty happy about that situation. I want to talk about that Dragon fight again, though, or lack thereof. It seemed like Big Etron was a bit late there. Obviously, good stalling by the Camille to get them away. They were kind of stalled out in the middle of the map there as Camille just kind of baited some damage out. But yeah. Here comes the ult out of Camille. Are they going to be able to get this kill? Down goes Fiora. Very well done there. And they're going to go ahead and take the tower as well for their reward. Good game coming up from Solosoy.
Now, I mean, this is how you want to play the Camille comp. Meanwhile, out of side, Lulu does get picked off by Graves. But we mentioned this before. When you have Camille, you want to utilize the ultimate as often as possible. Every time you have ult from Camille, you should utilize that. You try to pick off a kill, right? Get Camille ult, lock someone down in place, and then gank that person. And that's really well done from Silversoy. Those are going to tower out of it, but a little bit more skirmish towards the top side.
Yeah, and Camille trying to get even more damage done, takes out the Brawl. They're going to try to look for more. Lee Sin obviously trying to jump in on the fight. He has vision, going to go in with his first ability and immediately shuts down that cannon, uses the jumper to get out of there as well. Very nicely played by the Lee Sin here, kind of not realizing that he was in vision of his opponent and gets punished for it. Solosoy really taking the advantage here as they get the kill, get the mid turret, and even are pushing onto both sides. Really, the only thing going for here for Big Etron is a Fiora slight push in the bottom.
Oh my goodness! Like, just I think back to your point. Why Fiora? Like, Fiora is strong in a one-on-one duel, but if Fiora doesn't get advantage, she become completely like a weight almost, right, for the team, because she doesn't really offer anything in a team fight. She's more of a complete split pusher. I think Xcontrol mentioned this before, even in PC, this hero is mainly just picked to split push because how strong she is in duel. But if you cannot win advantages, it's going to be really hard for this hero to... It's almost just weight. Like, at this point, Fiora is 0-2-1. He's definitely not doing so well. She already lost her tower, and she cannot push further than Camille because she loses Camille right now. But more skirmishes.
Yeah, for sure. Get lots of damage coming here onto the Ari. Can she get out? Looks like she's in quite a bit of trouble. Lulu goes down first. Actually, the ult comes out from Ezreal trying to help. Lee Sin actually just jump in trying to help out this team fight as well. But the so disjointed. He gets extremely low. Has this GA pop. They're going to stick around to try to finish off this kill. He's trying to get the flash. He does get it off in time, and that leads to the death of Graves. Lee Sin jumps back in, gets out, does not die. There's the headsets all the way for Camille to finish off that kill as well. The riposte comes out from the Fiora. Can she get away? She is ignited, I do believe, and that is a kill onto her as well as a 4-for-0, or maybe a 4-for-1, but holy cow, what a turnaround.
So of soy. Again, I'm just back to what I was saying. I think this team is packed with surprises for us tonight. I mean, they're going against one of the strongest teams in this group, Bigatron, and they're not intimidated. They're not frightened. They're giving a run for their money right here. You know, like the kiting back and forth. They're constantly juggling the aggro. We saw this last game where they're really good at doing that in one team fight on the bottom side. And now they did that again. You know, everybody kind of taking a little bit of damage back away, taking a little bit of damage back away. Lee Sin dead, come back alive from the GA, and just pull off a beautiful play. Let's take a look at a replay over there.
Yeah, I cannot believe that he got off the the flash so perfectly after his GA expired. Actually gets away. Then they get one of the kills. Then he jumps right back in, gets the kill again, gets out before he dies, and then Camille gets in, gets the kill, and then runs away. And then Fiora actually dies in the end to the ignite. That was absolutely ridiculous. I actually have another skirmish on our screen as Graves dies as well from the invade coming out from Solosoy. And Solosoy finally showing their skill here, flexing their muscles over Big Etron. You know, this is gonna be a bit of a backhanded compliment, but I was actually wondering how Solosoy qualified for the tournament, but they're really showing it now, jumping in once again. There's the headset, there is a dead Brawl as well as a dead Ezreal. Kennen jumps in with an ult on all the members, but he actually gets the kill and gets away. Okay, Kennen's just really good, I guess. Double kill comes out here for Kai'Sa, though, does get the return kill onto him. And that is going to be a 1-for-1 for in the end, after they lost an 0-for-2, they try and get a 1-for-1 there.
Oh my goodness, dude! So what is going on with all this? I guess it's just confidence, you know. Like after they won that team fight, that must be a huge boost for them.
You know, it kind of makes sense though, because it seems like they're good at kind of getting the aggro in, jumping out. So they're very good like individual players. They know when to get in and get out of the fight. But it seems like it all makes sense now, right? Because they don't work as a team. They work really good individually. Unfortunately, in all of their other games, they just died because the other team just out cooperated them. So
yeah,
so that you can kind of see why they qualified for the tournament, even though they struggled in earlier games, because now it all makes sense. It's like as long as they can get into like an even team fight, they can really just juggle the aggro very well.
Remember, guys, the open qualification to select all the team, but 24 teams, they're all diamond and above for season 0. All the players were diamond and above minimum, and that's how they're getting an open qualifier. And out of the 24 teams, you select 16 to join this group stage. So
they qualified. It's not like we just some jobber team that we invited. No, they actually qualified. That's why I was so confused why they were getting their such poor performance earlier. But now it kind of makes sense now. It's like they were really good individually. Now they need to kind of their
team is really strong. But obviously, 5-on-5, we always mention in any mobile you play, it's going to be a different game than like when you play solo queue, duo queue, or trio queue.
And then that. Go ahead. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The last thing I want to mention is they're 0-5 in games in this group, and this is like cornering a wild animal, right? They're desperate. They can't go 0-6 in this group. They can't go 0-6 in games. They need a win here. Solosoy is saying we're not bad at this game. Okay, we're good. I promise you. So they're finally showing their skill here. They want to do it for the pride.
Yeah, they gotta put everything on the table, man. This is the last game to do or die. This is it. You have it. Do it. Oh, look at that. Here it comes.
Yeah. The Baron potential take here. The ult comes out from the Brawl. Who's going to be able to take it in the end? The Lulu goes down, so too does the Kai'Sa. I'm not even sure who is taking the Baron quite yet, but it is going to be 2 already dead on the side of Solo. So a third does go down, and it is actually a disastrous team fight. And oh my goodness, they actually take the Baron as well. As you can see, the Big Etrons, their minions are getting buffed here when the Graves ran over them. So Baron steal and a 3-4-0 as right when we started complimenting Solo Soy for their last stand here, trying to get this final victory. Perhaps it might not be a victory after all, as Big Echon are on the comeback trail.
This was, I mean, they are ahead right now. They should use objective once again to bait out team fights. They make the same mistake that they made in game 1 when we mentioned, where when have a team come to team fights, they need team fight. Right now it's not about team fight, it's about goal advantage. They have a huge lead. When you have a lead, you should not try to risk any objectives. We mentioned that when you have a lead, why you try to give a 50-50 chance for an enemy to steal Baron? You use objective bait enemy, and you whoop their ass, you kill all of them, and then you take objective, because that's what lead is for, right? But unfortunately for Soy, they were a little bit lost. I think the biggest challenge for the team right now is team synergy. They need a clear shot caller to make decisions for the team. I feel like they're really good individually, but when it comes to teams, a little bit like miscommunication or just a gap of communication over there.
Yeah, for sure. And you saw the difference from Big Echon. They losing the fights earlier, but now when it comes to one big team fight, they're able to take it down. Take the Baron as well, and now they are on the warpath. I see in the top lane that
here we go.
Fiora actually in a bit of trouble there. It does get ulted upon. She uses her own ultimate as well, but she does go down in the end. So nice gank there coming out of Solosoy. However, their bottom lane is getting pushed in by both its minion wave and 4 members of Big Etron. Can they get more here? Big Etron again. They're still Solosoy still up in gold. They're still up 1 dragon, right? 2-1 here, as you can see on the menu. So still a pretty decent lead, but their turret advantage is no more. In fact, they're down 1 turret, and it's looking a bit dicey.
Yep. Here it's gonna be a very interesting game. Ari is a mid game hero. They have a lot of snowball heroes. Yes, they have a late game insurance on the Kai'Sa, but their mid lane carry, their jungler, all heavily snowball related heroes. Camille is similar. Camille's bruiser is more of later it gets, the better it is for Fiora, right? Fiora's dueling potential is like no match once she gets her items, because she does true damage and she heals. So when it comes to split pushing, Fiora's gonna win. Obviously, just now you saw Fiora almost killing the Camille, but it was 1 versus 2 situation, and Fiora died. And even though she didn't have the best early game, she didn't have the best all game actually. 0-4-4 right now, sitting at a KDA. But the game is not about KDA at this point. It's just about gold. And that little bit Baron steal give them such a huge comeback. And Fiora is able to get so much gold off the objective towers, Barons, kills, all that kind of good stuff. So right now she's definitely a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, for sure. And they definitely have, a decent amount of map control, as you can see there. Only really the bottom lane on your map here getting pushed in here on the side of Solosaur. Everything else is kind of getting pushed back by Big E-tron. Looks like both teams are kind of gearing up for kind of a skirmish. You can see the Camille and the Fiora dueling out in that bottom lane on your mini map here. But it looks like the Elder Dragon, excuse me, is that the Baron? The Baron is being contested at the moment. There obviously is vision from that Rift Scaler. Are they going to be able to go in here from the... from Lee Sin, but looks like both teams back off. Just a risky play here. It looks like Bigiton was trying to see if they could sneak it, but weren't able to do so in the end there. And now map control is ceded back over to Soul of Soy as they push in their lanes.
Wow. Well, what a roller coaster. Braum? Braum?
Bro, I'm a little bit in trouble. Your shield's actually pushing the wrong way. Has to use the ult just to be able to get away. But getting engaged once again. The cannon, huge ult comes out. And actually, the GA is popped here for Lisa. Can he get back into the fight? Actually has to jump out for the moment here. One of his teammates is actually very extremely low. Camille does get her GA popped as well. Comes back into the fight. It's actually okay. The Braum does go down. And he has so many members extremely low. The cannon does go down. Lisa trying to get his revenge. And that is 3 down here for Big E-tron. Camille holding on to a sliver of life. That is a 3-4-0 for Soul of Soy.
Oh my goodness! Like what just happened? Like what?
Braum caught on the wrong side of the
Braum
road.
was a little bit lost.
The river. A little bit lost. I mean, obviously you got to be that living ward, that moving ward as a support sometimes, but a little bit far forward if you're a problem there, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now Elder Dragon goes to Soul of Soy. That's going to be a huge win for Soul of Soy here, Bigatron. Oh, look at Graves.
Oh my goodness, gets the ultimate onto him from the Camille. Tries to get on out of there, but does get caught in the end. The ult coming out onto the Ezreal. He's trying to hold on with his dear life. But Soul of Soy doing the right thing, finally going to get onto this Baron, get rid of the wards, get rid of the vision, make it so that Big E-tron are completely blind, and they're going to take this, easy peasy. It's waiting for potentially the ult to come out from the Ezreal, but wasn't going to be there.
That was such an interesting fight. I mean, once again, I think it has to go credit to Soul of Soy's individual ability to juggle aggro's, right? Like, everybody played to the extreme again, and they burned 2 GAs. I think Lee Sin's GA was burned. I think Camille's GA was burned in that one team fight before the Elder Dragon. And then they got it. You know, like, everybody played to the extreme. And Kaisa jumped in 1 versus 4. I was about to say Kaisa's going to go kill herself. But just when she took to the limit of the amount of damage she could took, she walked out, started doing damage on the side. And then everybody else jumped in. I was like, what? What is this? What is this play to the extreme kind of deal? What doesn't kill you make you stronger? Yeah.
Yeah, especially all the GAs getting juggled, right? Well, they got every time someone got their GA pop, they managed to get out of there alive. But looks like it's going to be one more engage here. One of them, the Lulu goes in, has to use the wild growth on herself, but gets taken out by the cannon in the end. Looks like it's going to be support as Braum does fall as well. He's going to be continuing to push down on this bottom lane. Multiple siege minions pushing in onto this bottom tower. Not really sure how the Big E-tron's going to be able to hold on to this inhibitor turret, and indeed it does go down. Attention pulled here back over to mid. Mid turret's going to go down as well as cannon falls, and that is the top turret. And this is all but over. Looks like they're just going to try and turn tail and run. The Nexus is at half. It is down to 0, and that is Soul of Soy taking the first game of the tournament and tying up this series.
Oh my goodness, what a game from Soul of Soy. Wow. I mean, I'm just gonna say, wow.
One snap, they have one snap as life. One snap as life. They're like, come on, Soul of Soy. Soy's biggest fanboys right now are one snap.
Dude, I just want to say, Elder Dragon, man. You get Elder Dragon, you wins the game. It has never changed, and I think it's almost never gonna change. It's just gonna be the way it is. Elder Dragon's way too strong, and you win that team fight. That's gonna be it. So let's go ahead and quickly jump into a post-game replay of exactly what happened. There are a few things we need to watch about that play. So let's go. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. What an insane situation we had. Here
I think that a few times. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean you can talk about these plays as well, but one snap just absolutely, or sorry, the Solo Soy. Mine's on one snap because one snap actually can get back to the tournament. Solo Soy finally providing life and finally providing a good game for us, and just well played them in the end.
Let's take a look at this team fight first. I mean, the ability that they were able to play everyone to the extreme was insane. Starting off with Ari not dying, right? Running away with 1 HP. Lulu ended up dying because who cares about support anyways. But then look at jumping in, jumping out. Camille, same thing, tanking a lot of damage, jumping out. And then Lee Sin jumping in again, popping that GA. Look at the HP on everybody, right? No one's leaving from so everybody's ready to fight it again. And a beautiful charm from Ari. I think every time the turnaround come from that charm. You know, and then you get it because bait somebody, bait one person in, charm one person, and the entire team is coming back, and then they give Philip Soy the opportunity to do this. So, oh my goodness, that was.
It's kind of the funny part is that like the entirety of Solo Soy's roster is just like one-on-one team fights, right? Or one-on-one skirmishes, right? It's like Lee Sin kills person one-on-one, Camille kills person one-on-one, Ari kills person one-on-one. Like the only thing they really have going for them that's like, or even Kaisa's like kind of more like a one-on-one. She's not like an AoE, you know, marksman or anything, right?
Yeah, look at his charm.
Like, oh my goodness, yeah, charm just every single time, just like getting individual members. But yeah, Solo Soy, they're doing it. One snap, their biggest fans right now. They're rooting them on because again, if Big John lose, they're actually out of the tournament. So they gotta take this seriously.
You know what would be really interesting if there's betting like how the tournament gonna go. So I want to take a look at this last team fight here. So first of all, Braum was kind of just absolutely lost. I think he would try to get vision. And then, why did Braum pop out from behind everybody over here? Why was he here alone?
It might have been, he might have been trying to get like a flank or something. But
it's a Braum. You don't expect Braum to flank though. Like,
I don't know.
He's in there. He's right now. Braum is right here, somewhere around like the Soy blue side jungle. And I think he's probably setting up vision. I'm pretty sure he's probably setting up wards down here, like because if you set up a ward around enemy blue buff, that gives you a much earlier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, and then he does take a lot of damage here. But using everything on Braum is like obviously bad. And Cannon had a huge ult, like really good ult on Lee Sin and the Ari. But look, everybody dash out and then jumping back in, burning a second GA right here. And then once everybody's up, boom. Oh, look at his Kaisa. Look at his Kaisa, though. He went in 1 versus 5, literally. When everybody... He has a wild growth on him. So, look. Jumping in, right here. 1 versus 5. Like, that's... I was like, what? Guys, just go in 1 versus 5, flash out, and then Lee Sin was a kick, they just jump back in. I was like, holy, that was beautiful.
Yeah. I can't really add much more to that. It's just like... They using their opponent's cooldowns against them absolutely perfectly, and Kaisa going in... Right when they're waiting for the GA, so yeah, absolutely well done.
But 1 versus 5, that takes a lot of courage, and like that took a lot of courage. That was a play from Soy, ladies and gentlemen. Before we take a short break here to the last match of the day, we want to do a big shout out to the Wild Rift Asia Brawl sponsor, Trovo.live. Trovo is hosting a variety of tournaments events for League of Legends Wild Rift, with sponsored prizes for you to claim, including 30,000 Wild Core giveaways starting next week for the playoffs. So do not miss it. Join us on Trovo.live with the link in the chat right away. Get your seat warmed up on Trovo.live. Share the stream on Trovo will also give you exclusive rewards on the platform, so you can use it to support your favorite streamers when as Wild Rift community continue to grow. Big shout out to Wild Rift Competitive for helping this tournament. Wild Rift Competitive is a central place for all things competitive. They host weekly tournaments and they host events for the community. So make sure to use the social links in the description to follow Wild Rift Competitive as well. Make sure to follow our beautiful, sexy caster D2 with his social media links in the chat right away. So you follow his future cast and journey as we continue into the Wild Rift competitive scene. Last but not the least, make sure to head to AssassinDave YouTube channel, and in the playlist, find the Wild Rift Asia Brawl playlist. If there's any matches you want to refer to, all of them are beautifully archived, completely saved in that playlist. So go to Wild Rift Asia Brawl playlist in AssassinDave YouTube channel if there are any matches you want to look for. With that, we're going to take a short 2-minute break, and we'll see you guys in the last match between Bigatron Infinity and Soy. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the last match between Bigatron, Infinity, and Soul of Soy. The very interesting game. This game will decide the final landscape of Group A. Whoever makes it to the playoff, who shall we see to contest for the $2,000 prize pool? I cannot emphasize enough the importance and significance of this game. The last match is now 1-1, completely even up, match points for everybody. Whoever wins this match takes the series. Well, with me tonight is our one and only sexy and handsome, talented caster D2. How are you doing, D2?
I'm doing okay. I gotta say I wasn't expecting this turn of events, and in fact, the person who does the challenge bracket didn't expect it either because they already put Bigatron as the winner of this best of 3, even though they haven't won yet. Surprise! Well, still won game 2, so the series is not over. Person who is doing
need to make some adjustments over there. But the third game ban picks already underway. Can you quickly walk us through the ban picks? Alright, a little bit of technical issues over there, but don't worry, we're gonna be go ahead and rejoining the chat in the 3, 2, am I in? Alright, there we go. How are you doing, D2? We're back.
I'm doing well. I guess I'm back.
Can you talk about the ban pick for our lovely viewers?
Of course I can. So from Bigatron, they have Gragas and Akali banned, and for Solosoy they ban Olaf and Lee Sin, which is like crazy to me because Solosoy just won with a Lee Sin. What are they doing? They're hurting their own team. Anyway.
I mean, they want to ban it. They don't want to give it to their opponent. So, usually, like we talk about like the ban pick philosophy, right? If you win a game, you want to make sure that that winning hero does not give it to the opponent's pocket. Olaf ban, Gragas ban, Akali ban, once again leaving Cannon available on the table. I think a lot of the pro teams, competitive teams, just don't pay a lot of attention to Cannon. Like, do you think they just find some secret to say that Cannon is not that important? It's always picked though, once it's allowed, once it's like given out.
You know, I think that Camille has just done a really good job versus Cannon today, so I think they're fine with letting it go as long as they get Camille.
True.
And that's just basically how it's played out today. So I think the Cannon can be really strong.
Yeah. And
if you're Bigatron, you better hope so. Because Bigatron to come this far and, you know, take a victory off of Omega earlier, and to lose this and get knocked out by Solo Soy of all teams would be very disappointing. So they're putting their hopes in the Cannon, and I think it can work, but just gotta make sure to not get destroyed by this Camille here.
Yeah, once again, we're looking at Soul of Soy's perspective as Bigatron's perspective continues to lag for us. So, but we'll tell you if there's any important information coming up, any possible rotations from Bigatron. But right now, you're looking at the Soul of Soy's perspective, and so we're sorry for the technological challenges that we're facing here. So, looking at the both sides, this game is a little bit a little bit more traditional, I would say. Nobody invaded. It's pretty peaceful opening.
Yeah, for sure on both sides here. So I'm actually, hold on, I'm trying to get back into the game. I might actually have to cast from the Bigatron perspective because I feel like I'm way behind, and your screen share is kind of blurry. So I'm like trying to deal with it for the moment here.
Yeah, but this time Bigatron's draft though, they had Misfortune, Vi, Alistar, Oriana, and Cannon. The team fight that they have is insane. So what I want to see is how Bigatron gonna pull off or execute this team fight centric comp. You know, like, are they going to be all 5, add Dragon when Dragon comes up? Are they going to be all 5, add Rift Herald when Rift Herald comes up? Can it be that discipline, you know? Because that will determine whether they're going to win this game or not. Their team comp does not win in one-on-one, especially in a skilling situation. If Kaisa gets to late game, which we saw how strong the Kaisa can be, like 1 versus 5 from last game. If you give Kaisa the room to actually scale to late game, the same thing is going to repeat. And then the only person that's going to laugh in the end, it's gonna be one snap. So Bigatron really gotta take it really seriously this game.
Oh, well, speaking of taking it seriously, already a kill onto the Lulu here as Misfortune is able to take her out, and even Alistar just putting pressure onto this Wukong. And I gotta say, it's been a tale of two champions here for our jungler. See, like, pretty, had a lot of trouble on the Wukong in game number 1. Played very well in the Lee Sin game number 2. Now he's back on the Wukong and already having trouble on his side.
Yeah. Wukong is blue buff, like really blue buff dependent kind of jungler. And then really good in invade from Bigatron's side. Alistar as well as the Vi coming in together just quickly smited that. We're unfortunate Wukong only had like 2 seconds left on the smite cooldown. Oh, look at them. They're just following this guy around.
Oh my goodness. He didn't even see them coming and just immediately gets taken out there. I don't know. This doesn't look too good here if you are solo. Sorry. Remember, the way they were able to win last game was they got a lot of singular picks, right? Over and over again. Because of the way their team comp is fashioned here. And now Wukong really doesn't really fit the fashion as well as Lee Sin did last game. Whereas, Bigatron has that more comprehensive team fight. They have the backline damage, the frontline engage. So it's not looking too good for Solo Soy here. They don't have as good of a team fight comp. Most likely, it's close, but they haven't really shown the ability to be cohesive in team fights. And at the same time, they've already fallen down in this game to 0-2. So not off on the great foot here for Solo Soy.
The early game advantage definitely helped out. Oh, Misfortune once again lay out the ultimate just to shove wave. I think we're expecting a recall, so Misfortune can buy items. This is actually a really good strategy. Once you have the marksman like Jean or Misfortune, they can kind of handle lane themselves, right? Misfortune can clear wave, especially after level 5. She can just use the ultimate to shove the wave. Even before then, her skill 1 does insane amount of damage on poking. Sometimes you can 1 versus 2 with that. So that allows Alistar to roam.
Yeah, and Alistar obviously in the roaming capability is going to be super strong here because of his ability to knock out multiple opponents right from the get-go, basically, right? He doesn't really need any kind of crazy ult like some other support champions do. We have a potential gank here in this bottom lane. We're going to be go ahead and jumping on to the cannon here. Can he full off the 1 versus 2? No, it gets taken down in the end. But a nice try from the cannon there.
How strong is this hero, though? Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna just say like why the Camille's so good, right? All you have to do is rotate with the jungler, and you can't get away. It's just like you're stuck here. So.
Yeah, you're hard stuck for a few seconds, but because Wukong showed bottom, this dragon does go to Bigatron's pocket. As we mentioned, they need to be here.
They're going to be engaged, though. It looks like Alice is going to try to help his team get away. Goes in with the knockback and the knock up to make sure that he takes the way. But there's going to be a re-engage actually coming out here from the side of Bigatron. Looks like the Lulu's already fallen here. Alistair's getting extremely low as the Wukong jumps on yet another member. It gets extremely low. And it looks like he's able to get away in the end. So I'm taking a look at my screen to see what happened. So I was looking at your screen. It's very Minecrafty.
That was a 2-1 trade in the end to the favor of Soy. I mean, Bigatron really got to step it up. I think they're playing a little bit chaotic right now. It's disorganized, very uncharacteristic of them. Like at this point of the game, because they were not wombo comboing. You see a hint of it, but there's a lot of hesitation, right? Alistar went in, and then Orianna ulted on top of it, which was good, but then that was it. There's no more.
I think, it's just Bigatron. It feels like they're being a little bit too cocky with their lead right now, right? They're not so far ahead that they can just re-engage without their abilities. I mean, Alistar used all of his CC, and he used it. You can tell he used it specifically for his team to get away, and then Bigatron re-engaged. And it's like, Alistair's probably thinking like, no, I don't have any CC right now. I don't have any CC. What are you doing?
Yeah, he knocked out 3 people and started running away. Orianna all on top of it. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a little bit disorganized. Are they trying to get away? Are they trying to fight? Meanwhile, Bigatron does get another tower thanks to a cannon there. So, actually, the first tower.
Yeah, they get the first tower of the game actually.
Yeah,
which
objective-wise, they're winning in my opinion.
Yeah, they got the red tail as well. So, sorry, the red tail just spawned. My mistake. But looks like there actually might be a bit of skirmish on to that right now, as both teams are kind of sort of in the area. It does go over to the side of Soy. Wukong's just going to go ahead and back off there. And this time Bigatron doesn't contest, which is I would say wise in my estimation because
Yeah.
they burned themselves earlier being too aggressive.
Their team wasn't ready. So I think if I were Bigatron, I would take a deep breath. Everybody take a deep breath. Lay out the next plan. Right? What's the next objective? When do you want to fight next? Maybe invading Wukong's jungle like you did before, right? Treat a jungle as objectives and take a huge team fight. When cannon is available, you know, have everybody lay quad control over each other, like one layer after another, like a sandwich, instead of going in one after another. But definitely take a deep breath, reset, because they're still in the game. They're still, I would say, not really ahead, but have the late game skill potential with the dragon. So can they hold on at this point?
And part of the reason we were talking about from Big Echon's side is because we feel like they should be able to move on from this group, especially after what happened in one step earlier. But, you know, just to see them potentially go down in this fashion from sloppy play might be a mistake here. It looks like there's a knock up here on it to the Kaisa. She does go in out of the wild goal that's put on her, getting extremely aggressive over on this side. But there comes the shockwave over from the Oriana. She does get ulted on from the Camille. The Camille's actually getting low herself. The Wukong tries to get away, uses his clone, but does get taken out. And that is a 3-4-0 in favor of Big Echon as the Kaisa and Lulu have died as well. Camille actually extremely low in the mid lane. Looks like Big Echon's going to go ahead and spread themselves out, but that is what Big Echon wanted.
Yup, that's exactly how they're supposed to play the game, and also to capitalize on the mistake from Soy, right? When Kaisa got a little bit too cocky, and her positioning was way too overextended. You saw like he got knocked up by Alistar alone under the enemy tower, and then Wild Growth had to be used when it was not necessary. You know, so I think that's the reason why Soy lost the team fight there, because I think it was mainly because Kaisa was completely out of position under the tower, getting knocked out by Alistar, and a nice juggle from Bigatron for, you know, getting himself winning the team fight. Here it comes, next team fight. Dragon.
Yeah, it looks like there might be a little bit of a skirmish here under this dragon. Lots of damage actually coming onto the Alistar, so you might be a bit of trouble trying to take this fight. The dragon's getting extremely low. Who's going to be able to take it in the end? Wukong does get knocked up. The engage here comes from Big Echon, and already taken out is Wukong. So too is the Lulu. The Kaisa falls as well. It's the same 3 that fell earlier, and that is another 3-0 here in favor of Big Echon. Yes, we have the Camille pushing, but that is not the greatest consolation prize here if you are Solo Soy.
That's exactly, once again, how Big Echon's supposed to play the game. I mentioned it, that they need to be 5-men at a dragon. They need to force team fights because they're comp. And look at what they're doing right now. With Alistar engaged, with a Vi follow-up, with a cannon follow-up. That was beautifully done, right? If they continue with this trend, they're going to get the spot to go to the playoff. And they have to continue this trend. So let's see if they're able to keep up the momentum here and really take, you know, put a pedal to the metal.
Yeah, and one of our earlier games and the earlier best of 3 between One Step and Omega, we saw the Kennen side struggle, right? Because they had to match the Camille, and then they couldn't really get over, and then Camille, you know, it was just difficult. You saw here Big Echon forcing the issue. They're just saying we're gonna fight as soon as possible because we want to be able to just take this team fight while Camille is out of the picture. They do that, they get the 3 kills, they lose a turret, but it's worth it in the end. And that is how you play that position. Big Echon showing you how it's done.
Yep. But look, from a Soy side, what they, at this point, like, you just lost 2 team fighting in a row. You already understand. You know, that's not your win condition, right? You gotta leverage the Camille's a lot more, like what they did early game, you know? Like, find some prey, looking to split push, looking to trade resources. Unfortunately, right now, Baron is on the table. If you look at the trade, it might be too risky. So we'll see. Baron is still not being contested right now, but definitely if you look at Big Echon's position, they're looking to set it up.
Yeah, for sure. Not really using the sweeper, so a lot of vision here available for Solo Soy. Make it so that they can actually see what's going on. Finally, the sweeper being used in order to take out some of those wards and put some pressure visually on it to Solo Soy here. They go ahead and kind of scout out the area, but there might be an engager. They're jumping in onto the Wukong. Can he get away? He has to use the flash in order to do so. Ult burned by the Misfortune. Lulu got low as well. Lulu seems to be getting low in quite a lot of these fights. Not really working out too well for her in the end. Looks like there might be a re-engage on to the... No, not quite.
To be honest, that's the opportunity that I expected Soy to fight right away, because Vice ultimately being used, Misfortune ultimately being used, and actually almost completely wasted, you know? So that's the opportunity for them to fight back as 4 or 5 men. I don't know whether Camille has teleport or not, but they needed to fight over there. You cannot wait for the next round when they have their ability up again. You need to take advantage of when enemy doesn't. Oh, Cannon on the other side though.
Yeah. Yeah, it's actually, I was going to say, speaking of Camille, this Ken and Camille fight's going on over in that top lane. In fact, Camille's getting aggressed upon because of the fact that it's so close to that tower, and Vi takes her down in the end. A little bit of an overextension there from the Camille, too close to the enemy side of the map. A vision of the risk of the Baron disc over to Solo Soy, but it's very little consolation.
Yeah, damn, that was so close. Showed the chain CC potential from Bigatron there. Alistair into Vi, knockup after knockup. Here it comes again.
Yeah, they're going for it once more, trying to get the aggression on here onto the Ahri, I believe, and kind of chase them away. Looks like they might potentially go for the Baron once more. They're going to go ahead and back off as they realize Solo Soy is in the area.
I mean, it's a good decision. Obviously, I can see that what Bigatron wanted to do there. They obviously want to use the Baron to bait enemy position, and they spotted the Ahri. Unfortunately, once Vi ulted, Ahri is able to dash away really quickly, right? It's Ahri. It's one of the hardest mage to catch. Her ultimate literally have 3 phases of dashes, and on top of it, you have a self-protection mechanism with the charm. If you get close, I'll charm you, and I might put you, the pursuer, in danger instead. So it's not easy. But here it comes, the Baron attempt. This looks...
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of YOLOing the Baron here from Solo Soy. Just potentially, if Bigatron aren't in the area, then maybe they can go ahead and steal it. They still have the Rift Scaler, so not going to be any sort of cheeky takes by the side of Bigatron anytime soon. It's actually, honestly, taking that Rift Scaler has actually saved Solo Soy so much from the Baron being taken.
Yeah.
But like you mentioned, you gotta keep tabs on everything there, and Bigatron take the turret down. That said, though, looks like Bigatron's getting their own tower destroyed in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's a trade, but I think the mid-tier 2 tower is obviously, in my opinion, a lot more important, because once you take down the mid lane tower, once again, you go back to the connecting dot theory. If you lose the mid lane, lose the middle of the map, you cannot connect the silent tower to any like, they cannot be connected anymore. So basically, the silent towers become left alone, and it's really easy for those towers to start falling down. Whereas if you're taking out a silent tower, the mid lane, as long as the mid lane stays alive, you can always connect the dots. And
yeah. Just to give like a visual example, if you look on your minimap and Camille, for instance, starts pushing down that bottom tower on the minimap, if she gets chased, she can only run away in one direction. She can't run away towards the middle because that's obviously a danger zone. Any case, the Baron is up for grabs. There's actually not a whole lot of vision. I'm not sure what they were able to get out of there. And it looks like a potential engage coming out from Alistair. He does go on top of them, and here comes the engage from him, trying to push them away. And the Baron does get taken out here by Vi and Bigatron. So an uncontested Baron. You can see Camille trying to push that top lane there. So good job by the Camille doing her job, making sure to kind of distract the other side. That's really all everything that's going here for Solo Soy.
But I think it's a tower worth giving. Like, Cannon know that he cannot one-on-one a Camille anymore. And then, so just give up the tower. Like, give up one tower for Baron. I think it's totally worth it, because you're going to get it back. Especially
I think both teams played that correctly, though, right? Because they got, for Solo Soy, what's the best you're going to do, right? If they try to contest, they're going to die. But they did get a turret out of it, so it's kind of dicey if you're a Bigatron, right? Because you're pushed to your inhibitors on both sides. But if you're Solo Soy, obviously it's like, okay, we're kind of okay with that as long as we can start pushing our own. So I think both teams did the right thing there.
Yeah, the saving grace for Solo Soy is still the Kai'Sa skilling late game. But this skilling, like I like the saying called million times zero is still zero. It doesn't matter how much damage you do. If you get chain CC to death, like, that's still equal to zero. It doesn't matter how much you scale. If I CC you until you die, like, that's still equal to zero. And that's exactly what Bigatron's team comp offers. They have the potential to constantly CC you until you die. So right now they have the Baron buff. The map is under their control. They're pushing out the high ground tower. They're forcing the high ground tower down. Let's see what happens here with Bigatron.
Yeah, and they're just trying to force down this top tower, like you mentioned. Easy does it go, top inhibitor tower, and now they can just rotate over to that mid turret. You see Camille pushing once again. Can they just push and force Camille to go back? A little bit of indecisiveness here from Bigatron. Doesn't want to get their inhibitors taken down and have a cheeky backdoor like we almost saw earlier. So.
You see the potential though. Like, once they have the Baron buff, they have all 5 people pushing down like to one lane. What are you gonna do? Right? You cannot teamfight them. right? So they're gonna be next to your objective. If you leave, they're gonna take the objective. If you don't leave, like if they fight them, you're gonna lose. And obviously, Soy choose the safer route, by just leaving and giving the tower away. Still, the slow death kind of action is not good for the long run, right? I mean, if you keep on giving objective for the next thing, they're gonna group out 5-man once again. Can Camille trade a high ground tower though? The slow trade is eventually gonna work because now all that's left from the two silents are just the high ground tower, the inhibitor tower. So next Camille push gonna be the inhibitor tower.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how she plays this, right? Because the next objective that's up is going to be that Elder Dragon in just a few moments here, and she can actually push down in that bottom lane from this perspective. Oh my God, here's a potential big engage off the from the Alistar, excuse me, but unable to get any kills on either side. Camille's actually getting pushed pretty low, and actually engage continuing to happen. Or excuse me, looks like it was just they were pushing in the minions, getting confused by these bubbles here. All right, the Elder Dragon spawns a little bush party, Solomon bush party over near the side of Biggie. Elder Mountain can be a big deal here. Feeling bad, man. Feeling not too good at the moment.
I mean, if they're in the position that they're in, like if I were Bigatron, I would just be 5-man on a Elder Dragon, and now they're making a move towards it. That's exactly what they should do, and that's what they can. They have total right for it. They have total control over the map. They're still way ahead of their opposition. They're still strong in team fights.
Yeah, teleport does come out here from the Camille, but Lulu already taken out, and that is just unfortunate. Very well played by the side of Biggie, making sure to, bait rather than force the objective and get any sort of 50-50 going there. Lulu getting taken out right away. And by the way, the teleport down as well. So either Camille has to commit here, or she has to go back home. Here comes a knockout from the Alistar trying to keep them away. And actually, they get the Baron. They steal it away. And Soy had no idea how much it was down. They had no timing at all, no vision. Here comes the engage on there. Here comes the ult from Kennen as well. The GA already popped from Wukong. Kai'Sa's extremely low. The Ahri is already down. Wukong's trying to get out of there. So too is Camille, but she gets taken down, and that has to be it. Back's going to come up Wukong. He's not even going to get there in time. The Nexus goes down, and Big E-Tron, they advance to the playoffs. They dash one Snap's hopes, winning this 2-1 over Soy.
Oh my goodness. Big congrats to Bigatron for making out a group stage and joining the playoff. What a demonstration in the last game here. The early game might not be as good as clean as we expected to be, but what a late game. If you look at the screen right now, this is the first group completely finished, and we got Omega Esports and Bigatron and Phili making out of the group stage and taking off to the playoffs, waiting for the other groups to finish. Damn. What a game, last game.
Yeah, congratulations to Omega Esports and Biggie today for making it out of their groups. Wasn't very easy for either team. Obviously, Omega had a somewhat easier time winning 2-0, but they had to do it over the formerly #1 team in the group in one snap.
Yeah, one snap.
Condolences to one snap. They are knocked out, even though they had a positive win rate in the group at 2-1. Soy, you gotta say, They fought in the end. They got kind of pushed around in the earlier matches, but they finally showed some spunk. They got a game. They made it close in the end, but couldn't play spoiler today.
Let's quickly just take like 1 minute to see the post-play analysis here. You can see this is the team fight I was talking about. Before then, at this point, Soy still have a full grips of the team fight. They understand what they're doing, but look at Kai'Sa's position. Right, your entire team's not even there, and Kai'Sa's somehow under tower. Alistar engaged on him. The wave's cleared, and the wall growth to be popped right here already. Yeah. And right after that, somehow is still looking to fight. So a big shockwave. Even Orianna was being ulted here, but she's way too deep for Soy to pursue that. And Keno on top of it. They fought in the enemy territory, and they fought in a very disorganized way. So that gave all the advantage or the winning chance to Bigatron, and right after that, they do not give a breezing chance to Soy. Like every team fight, look, Dragon was starting, right? But they Y saved all the skills. He didn't even use the skill 1. Once Alistar engaged, Y followed up, and then even though Lulu does give the wild growth onto the monkey, it's not enough. The chance is way too much, and they're just dead. Starting at that point,
I think
one after another.
I just think that every single team fight from Biggie, they were just very careful about not falling behind the team fight early. Yeah. Right? Because the way they lost team fights earlier against Solosoi is Solosoi they would either kill someone or get someone really low, and then they just juggle.
Yeah.
But this time Biggitron, no one was ever in trouble, so they never had to like stretch their team out, and there was no juggling to be had. They just killed. So yeah,
exactly. Like that's exactly what you said was exactly correct. They just dive in. Like once they have a signal to go in, they went in. Like from that point on, it was Biggitron 5 men all together. Everything they did was 5. If they retreat, it's 5. If they go in, if they take Baron, it's 5. But right here, it was a clear call to take Baron. Only Alistair zoned because they saw the Camille top lane, and everybody else taking the Baron. And after Baron, like literally just objective out for another. Like at this point, there's no question. Like literally, look at the position here. Silversoy didn't even want to contest this. They know they cannot win, right? They just leave. Like I said, at this point, there's almost no chance for Silversoy to win this game anymore. It was just way too easy for Biggitron. All they need to do is group 5. It's GGWPs. And that's exactly what happened. So once again, big congrats to the two teams, Omega Esports and Biggitron Infinity, for making out, being the first two teams for making out a group stage. Ladies and gentlemen, you are now watching the Wild Rift Asia Brawl. The first group has now been finished. This is week 3 now. Day 1 has now concluded with 2 teams proceeding to the playoffs. If you're watching the stream, big shout out to the sponsor of today's tournament, Trovo.live. Trovo is hosting a variety of tournaments, events for League of Legends Wild Rift with bunch of prizes for you to claim, including 30,000 Wild Core giveaways starting the playoff stage next week. So what you're waiting for, head to Trovo.live with a link in the chat. Next up, we have Wild Rift Competitive. Make sure to follow them if you want to anything competitive. If you don't know anything competitive news about Wild Rift, use their social media links in description as well to follow Wild Rift Competitive. And make sure to drop that follow for our lovely, talented D2, our caster for the day. His social link is in the chat right now. Use that link to go ahead and follow D2 as well. Last but not least, all the previous game matches, including today's matches, will be stored on AssassinDave YouTube channel in the Wild Rift Asia Brawl playlist. So head over there and then find any game you want, any game you want to refer to. With that will conclude today's matches. I hope you guys had fun as well. Like, subscribe, turn the bell on. Big shout out to D2. Big shout out to everybody who put their heart out to this tournament. With that, we're gonna go ahead and say goodbye to all of y'all. I will see you tomorrow for the second day. Tomorrow we'll decide 2 more winners will proceed to the playoff. With that, we're signing off. See you guys next time.